Hello everybody, welcome to The Natural One. We're going to be rolling some dice, killing some creatures, telling some stories. So, last time, you guys had recently arrived back from the 8th Hell, and you took some time to kind of recover, find yourselves, center everything a little bit. And you spent a year on the island of Hermos, traveling back and forth a little bit to Merchant's Haven and the like, but ultimately kind of just learning to relax and take some time, given that things have been on really kind of a non-stop roller coaster of flame since you guys started this adventure. You guys watched as Emma began to grow up, making pre-speech noises and more teetering than walking, but there's steps that could charitably be called walking.
I just appreciated the pre-speech noises.
And just as time went on, you guys eventually kind of came to find a more an inner peace and call things home. The dragons begin to grow more comfortable around the land of Hermos, which finished its arrival into a kingdom of its own. Your temple at this point is now a permanent structure. And then there were warships spotted off the horizon, and after a combination of planning and outmaneuvering and dragons, you guys managed to hold the kingdom's defenses very successfully and draw off the warforged that were attempting to invade the island and kill Darius and Juliana. Sensing that something was definitely up with this and wanting to arrive to more of a conclusion, Darius, you sent out a number of messengers and ravens in order to call an emergency meeting of the kings. And that is where we will go ahead and pick up.
The heart of a hero beats within you. Stand up and do all you can do. Blades, bows, magic, and so much more. Peace, battles, friendship, and war. With every choice you're destined to fight, your fate is cast in the die. Grab your friends and dice and let's have some fun. Let's roll the natural one. Let's roll the natural one. Let's roll the natural one. Let's roll the natural one.
Titties.
And son of a bitch. You were too late though. I'm sure the mic caught that.
Just a hair off. Next time I'll be better.
You gotta get that timing down just a little bit better.
Probably him.
Anyway, I knew that was gonna happen when we started recording. I was sure one of you was gonna do that. But so
Rude. I would never.
our story picks up as you guys teleport into the vibrant market town known as Alula Market. The town is full of people. It's just an extremely excitable place. It's all very there's noise going on in the street. There's several musicians up and about. Just high energy, high movement. There's games going all around. There's banners. People are laughing and playing. It's actually a far more vibrant place than anywhere you guys have been up to this point. There are bright splashy colors. You see murals all over different walls, a few of which depicting the events of Velma's Avengers. You see, which Juliana, you as a history student would know, to be Varin and Ulfrin arm wrestling over a barrel with depictions of orcs drawn around them. You see the picture of just kind of the group of Velma's Avengers flying against Martin and stopping him as his eye glows golden and his hand is poised in Vecna's arms. So you guys just see huge depictions, a lot of historical events, especially of great moments of peril in the world. You see a depiction of the dragons from when they were at their mightiest, hail, the tip of the mountain and the crimson wind flying over armies. It's just a really cool environment to see, and to see all these different depictions and all these different stories come to life. And you guys are eventually welcomed into a wide tavern. This tavern probably goes back about 50 to 60 feet, somewhere in there. And for your guys' arrival there, have had all the tables lined up and placed together with a long cloth draped over them. There is a black tabaxi, speckled with kind of different grays and browns all over their body, that is tending the bar, and is already just, you see, just kind of hastily running back and forth. Just, oh, hello, welcome. So excited. This is going to be a wonderful time. Please, sit, drink. This will be wonderful. And you see just very high energy, high excitement coming from this tabaxi.
DM, is it fair to say we've long rested?
Oh yeah, definitely you would have gone by this point.
And we're all in this bar, right?
Yeah, I assume we all just walked in.
Yes.
Excuse me, bartender.
Yes.
What type of ales do you offer?
What kind of ale do you want?
Something potent. It's been a long month.
Yes, coming right up. He kneels down. You see him just bring up two big, huge casks and instantly begin filling glasses. Which you seem a little concerned about. You ask for a glass. He's bringing over 3 to you. Just, filled. They're kind of bubbled up and overflowing slightly. This is a little bit of winter's bite. Favorite among the elves and the drows.
Let's say, how much do we owe you?
Nonsense, you'll be bringing me plenty of business. You can already see people are already rushing in, especially some of the more artistic bards, singers, things of that nature. It's starting to very quickly be clear that the balcony of this place, kind of the second level, is already overflowing with citizens.
I'm going to give one of the mugs to Darius.
Happily.
So I know Juliana's here. Is Chloe now? Or is she...
If she would like to. It's completely up to her at this point.
Probably not.
It's not exactly social.
Yeah, that's not her thing.
I think Darius would probably have her reinforcing defenses.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, there are buildings that were damaged and different mechanics and things that kind of on top of them. Also, there was a really nifty railgun that was getting shot around that Chloe would probably be interested in. So...
100% yes. In fact, like 120%-ish.
So easily, yeah, that would be where she would be focused at.
I'm going to assume Juliana's here.
Yes, Juliana will be there.
Pass her the other mugs, and she's the only other person here with a mouth that can ingest fluids. No slight at Lord Ignatius,
But
King of the Dragons.
Damn thing when it comes to that.
No slight. How many dragons did our king bring with him?
Dragons are fairly large, and even this being a large building, it's not that large. You can bring the hatchlings with you if you so desire.
No, I mean like if
I
one
want
of them shaped
Nalavar to come.
Nalavar?
But changed.
Yeah, she could shape change.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want her to
Okay,
be
so
here.
Nalavara, come with you.
Just motion to the tabaxi. Thank you very much for having us on such short notice.
Oh, my pleasure. Believe me, this is quite a historical event. It's been a long time since an emergency council was called, and certainly the first that Heroes actually had a king attend. I'm looking forward to this.
It should be one for the ages, my friend. As I drink my ale.
You see they're rushing around, they're just lifting banners and placing things. As this is going on, you guys feel feel more than see a flash of energy outside. And in walks I'm trying to think who all would have seen him. You two have, definitely. In walks a changeling, draped in very fine clothes. And just almost a slightly flamboyant nature about him. He walks in, takes a look around. Hello, Ignatius, Marcellus. It's been quite a long time since I've seen the two of you. And you two I have not met, but know by name. I take it you are King Darius and Juliana. Last surviving of the Margrave name, from what I hear.
We are, and you would be.
I am Sulam, King of Flumen. Which Flumen was the island directly beneath Heroes in where the Zimmer tent was and where Rarick fled to whenever you guys were tracking him down.
I walk up to him, Your Majesty, and shake his hand.
Shakes your hand, smiling, dipping his head slightly before his features shift into a mirror of your own for immediately.
That still catches me off guard every time.
I would say you get used to it, but you don't.
Join us if you so wish.
Right. He signals to the tabaxi, who instantly brings over a cup of just cold, frosted beer, and just kind of kicks his feet up on the table. You guys just kind of see a general sense of amusement, more interest across his features, which, even being a changeling, it's clear he's definitely interested in what's going to go down today.
So, how's life where you are? Flumen, you said?
Things have been interesting. Up until a few days ago, business was wonderful. Vices always draw in money, of course. Everyone looks to have an escape from things, but then I heard quite a few explosions from up north. Of course, I've been aware of the terraforming of the island, but the explosions was something rather new. So, whenever you sent out a letter requesting this meeting, well, I put everything on hold.
I and my friends here plan to address that.
Well, this shall be very fun then. And as he says, there's another flash, and 4 more figures walk in. The first you all recognize as Simon, King of Siev. You can see that his hair is now longer and more gray than it was. It was already graying fairly strongly, but definitely it's gotten grayer. He appears to be possibly approaching the latter years of his lifespan. He's flanked by 2 guards who are dressed in fine plate armor, swords at their side. Behind him is a dark-skinned half-elven woman. She's a single woman.
Oh, she's single.
All the single ladies. But she has a very dark complexion, almost copper skin, dressed in slightly billowy clothing. And I would need probably Juliana. Go ahead and make a either a nature or history check. Dealer's choice. I would say with advantage, given what you're saying here.
Alright. You said nature or history?
Yeah, whichever you prefer.
Let me go with history.
Okay.
You say with advantage or no?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure if I'm going to need it, but it's already in the 30s. Yeah. So that's a 33?
Incidentally, I was taking a look at it, and Juliana's passive insight, I believe, is 29.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She has a plus 19 to her insight checks.
So without trying, she's just.
I have a plus 11.
We were making the joke like, you lied. Went 3 years ago.
I mean, she's at that point where she could literally be sitting doing something completely different. Someone says something, she's like, "You're lying."
Speaking of which, actually, I did have a thought on just general insight checks for going forward. I was thinking it's kind of weird that they can use this lie detector. That felt a little clunky to me. So what I thought would be a good compromise is whenever you guys so choose, you may ask to perform an insight check, and based on what you roll, I will tell you the character's body language, stammering, things of that nature, and then leave you to deduce whether or not you think they're lying. I think sounds like a better compromise than just, you can instantly tell they're lying.
Okay.
Interesting.
Did you get that from that homebrew roll thing?
That's what sparked the idea. I tweaked it a fair bit afterwards.
The attention and detail of the individual you're speaking to.
Yeah, it seems. I mean, obviously there will be some cues when you're like, oh yeah, that definitely seems like they're lying. And when they said that, but there's other things where it's like, maybe they're lying, maybe it's a half truth. I don't know. So anyway, but on your history check, you can tell that this is the queen of the Lost Sands, named Vera. And she's fairly stoic, actually. Very attentive. You can see there's just a fierce intelligence in her eyes, and she's just a very attentive, focused person, but doesn't really speak very much. But given what you've heard from Chloanne and Ignatius and Selwyn of their time in the Lost Sands, definitely a hardy being to keep up with a kingdom in such an area.
What was her name?
Vera, Verra.
Got it.
After a few more minutes go by, you guys are joined by a young halfling woman with very, hair has kind of been done up very well. She's wearing a very flashy purple vest that sticks out as a very vibrant item of clothing. She kind of eagerly just, alright then. Glad to see I'm not the only one that actually showed up to this thing. This would be the queen of the ever-shifting coasts. Her name is Selena. After you guys kind of sit down and figure out how you want this to all go and kind of waiting around to see, you guys are also joined by Caleb, who is the Dwarven King of the Refuge, which Chloe and Solis briefly met, and Eldrin, who is the Blood Hunter you guys ran into in Fire's Altar.
I'm playing darts with the guards.
After you do this for a little while, quickly you see gold starts being laid down. Go ahead and make a general dexterity check for me.
General dexterity.
Or actually, no, I guess you're probably proficient with darts, I would imagine.
I mean,
They're simple weapons, so I'd be
Yeah,
shocked
so
if it
yeah.
wasn't.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead and make an attack roll for me.
attack roll. 19.
19? So, you throw it, the dart sticks on kind of the second ring. The guard steps up. Let me show you how it's done, elf boy. And immediately the dart goes. Well, I didn't see none of you stepping up to do nothing. At which point there is a roar of laughter. Everyone immediately starts drinking. And everything is brought to a happier, lighter tone with the realization that, okay, maybe we're not always going to be killing each other. After a little while, you guys are joined by Alec, who of course is here from the Council of Merchants Haven, as well as a red-skinned tiefling, and for a moment it's creepy that you found almost a female version of Callie. There is a broad captain's hat.
Is she wearing pants?
She is wearing pants.
Good. So that's good.
Okay.
But she's a red-skinned tiefling, dark hair, and horns that are kind of curled around, kind of curled back around the side of her head, come to a point near her mouth. Kind of darker clothing. I would need. What does everybody just go ahead and make a history check for me?
History. Please, Julian, don't waste your time.
Degrade yourself.
don't step down on the land of mere peasants.
What'd you roll?
17.
Natural 20.
Did you 20?
She nat 20. Hey, what's the total, Julian? Just humor us for the crowd. 36.
Fuck, man. You leave for a little while, you come back, I will make all of the checks.
Hey, you're literally going with, so you come back and everything you're proficient in, I need you to make checks on.
Fair enough, I mean, this is what you designed Juliana for, in all fairness.
She's the smart cleric.
So,
Literally a knowledge cleric, and you're asking her knowledge things.
so you remember going through your studies at the Temple of Lyane, studying up on the kind of the upcoming world leaders.
Sorry, 1 second. What'd you roll, Mikey?
I rolled 17.
And I got double.
Yeah.
Jesus. Anyway.
But you remember hearing about a red-skinned tiefling who was in charge of Nightingale's Nest. In particular, known to be the captain of the Nightingales, for which the city gets its name. Or the kingdom gets its name, I should say. Her name is Everett. You know her to be slightly more straightforward and practical, not necessarily driven by a lot of emotion, but not unkind.
Also, being used to being the hand of the king and whatnot, I would be relaying a lot of this into your ear, if you didn't know it.
I rolled a 14, so I guess I would have like a vague idea of who they were, but maybe not exactly.
Due to your years of having been his affiliate for Simon, you become rather skilled at kind of just almost kind of like the Queen of England. Whenever she's meeting people, she has that guy next to her. So I'm gonna have to this person. So you're just really good at.
That's what I was thinking too. Okay, cool.
How awesome would it be to have that person just follow you around in life? Just
Someone
fuck,
who
how
has
does this person know me?
someone who has a shit ton of knowledge of everything you do and just reinforms you of who you're talking to.
Delicious. Anyway, so after Everett, she's immediately followed in by an Azimir, who has a set of bright white wings and a halo, and is dressed in almost slightly more spring clothing, I would define it. Just a sleeveless tunic, but it's not, it's cloth, not leather. You can see kind of, just doesn't seem particularly battle ready as much as the rest of the entries into the and while she doesn't necessarily seem weak, just doesn't seem like battle hardened, in a sense. Marcellus, you actually have heard tales of this Asmir. Through Ilya. Her name
We
is.
don't speak that name anymore. But no.
I'm sorry, through your ex-mom.
Thank you.
Her name is Medley.
Medley.
Medli.
Medli.
She is the Asmir in charge of Turstine Spring, which is known to be kind of a holy land, if you will. After a few more minutes, she is followed by King Richard from Fire's Altar. I also have a chart of all these guys, so I don't necessarily worry if you can't remember everybody's name.
Okay. King Richard.
King Richard
Okay.
and Hilda, who again Chloanne and Selwyn met in Bard's testimony. She's the one who's kind of taken over command of the college, if you will. Finally, after a few more minutes, there's King Riley, who is the elf in charge of the Colored Forest. I believe you guys met him briefly
For a moment.
as you guys were heading towards the gap.
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Riley, Rawley.
And he was leader of what?
The Colored Forest.
Colored Forest.
Eventually joined by Longtooth, who Darius and Juliana, you two recognize from your time up in Baien's death. And he is known to be not necessarily king, but the leader of the groups of thieves that call that kingdom home. And lastly, you guys are joined by Darius, who is the son of Uglan, and the king of Luthenwald.
How do you spell his name?
Just a wanted over there.
Yep. Sure.
Yep, we got questions for his bitch ass too. Well, Marcellus
I'm
does.
not even gonna write his name down. but it's
Oh,
not important.
okay, yeah, that works.
Thank you, Soul Calibur 6.
I was gonna say, did you make them on Soul Calibur 6?
Yes.
Impressive.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
the character creation. That's pretty
It
awesome.
seems so much easier than trying to
That's
re-explain.
That's cool as shit.
That's pretty well set up, big dog.
I'm glad that
Shit,
was.
that makes me think we need to make our characters in Soul Calibur 6.
I made most of your guys' characters, actually. I made Igni, I made Marcellus, I made Juliana and Darius. I made Chloanne, I don't think I made Selwyn.
I can imagine someone would be a little more
These
difficult.
characters will not actually be on Soul Calibur 6. This is just for us guys. Just
These characters are not available. We also don't own the right to technically use these characters' images, but it's far from the sketchiest thing we're doing legally. So
That was clever though.
I figured it made sense for this. So maybe using them for thumbnails later too. We'll see how that goes.
Why is Wally sleeping?
Because that's when I happened to take the picture. Yeah,
He's just
he
not
blinked.
bored.
He blinked while the painter was painting his visage. The painter just was so dedicated.
Why does Caleb look like Jon Snow?
Because they don't really have good beards in Soul Calibur 6. And that was the closest thing to a beard.
you said this is the
God.
prick in charge of
That is the prick in charge of Fire's Altar, yes.
Simon does look like a douche.
So glad that's what you take away from that, Ignatius.
Okay.
Well, I've always thought he was a douchebag, so.
Okay.
I mean, he was.
Yeah.
Selena looks kind of good.
Who's Ublind's son?
That would be Jairus. Or Jairus.
That guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that-
just a very, very plain.
That
chain
dude and the
wall.
fucking.
It looks like he murdered his father.
He looks like he'd murder his father and then try to be with the mom.
Yeah.
That's sick.
And yeah. I tried to blame it on the people helping his fucking
I like when you say this when he's standing right next to the lizard folk king of a group of thieves.
No, my dude looks fine. He looks
Hands
good.
is okay.
I'd
Seems
go
like-
talk to him and then. Yeah,
Seems like an upstanding person.
Seems really decent. Seems like he has like a moral code. Like I would just kill my dad and then blame it on his group of protectors that were running missions for him. No, Logan seems like he would honor that.
All I'm saying is, if it came down to a trial, would you take credit for dating? Well, okay, yeah, you would.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Answer my own question there.
I'd like to advise Malvar just to keep an eye on everybody.
Okay.
Make sure that
Anything in particular you want her to watch out for?
nobody's sneaking away or Any private conversations that any of them might be having with any other of them.
Okay.
Juliana would give the same directives.
Some shady looking shit.
Oh yeah, no shit on top of that shit.
Marcellus has made his way to the
I was
balcony.
just thinking about saying it.
Oh, you want to be in the balcony?
I'm on the balcony now.
Are you hiding?
Nope. Just walking up and walking down. Or is the balcony like one of those long corridor balconies that can see down?
It's like a wraparound.
Yeah, then I'm just walking, pacing the balcony, keeping my eye out for anything suspicious.
Okay.
And if anything even seems remotely heated, she's definitely Juliana's definitely gonna be keeping her eye out for anything that has to do with like poisoning food or any like sleight of hand stuff.
I mean, it's not he wouldn't be able to see it from the other side of the room anyway.
Can I
That
pop
passive
a
over
charge
there.
of Jimmy Struthing?
If you would like to.
Yeah.
Which one was Shalon?
Shalom is the changeling king in charge of Lumen.
He was the first one that came in.
Yes.
Shalom is my friend. Well, not
You
friend,
gave me
but we know each
Can
other.
I hold a spell for if I see anything even remotely shady for True Sight?
Absolutely.
Because I can also cast it.
Yeah. Absolutely. If you want to, you can.
Like glance over everybody.
Changeling King of what?
Lumen.
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 Yeah, Lumen is directly beneath your whole thing. So as you guys all sit down, Simon just kind of leans forward. Well, this is certainly interesting. It's been a few years since we've all had occasion to see one another, but we do have a new face with us.
As I'm taking a sip of the ale. You look great, Simon.
Well, Fred and Darius, why have you called us here today?
I plan to address something that happened in our nation just yesterday.
At which point you can see a particular Shalom leans a little bit forward and kind of just takes an interesting gaze, paying closer attention.
Plan to make a speech here with my friend. This is Ignatius, by the way.
From the top of the balcony here, King of the Dragons!
We'll get to that.
At which point, most of the people around the table kind of perk up.
That's something we're going to address as well. Ignatius, you can do that at your own leisure if you wish.
At which point, Everett speaks up. I may not be the most understanding person, but how is it that a Warforged is in charge of dragons?
Well, when your soul is of a dragon, that makes pretty good sense, I think. And the wings also help.
I see. This is going to be a very interesting conversation.
It is, really.
However, I am also given to understand that my kingdom suffered a theft from you, King Darius, not too long ago.
And this is who talking?
Everett,
Everett.
who is in charge of Nightingale's Nest.
The healer's tools.
Yes.
Yes, the healer's tools.
Yes, it's something that has been in our position for many years. And you can imagine my surprise when I hear that my assistant at the museum had all but given them away to a group of unusually persuasive travelers.
You should fire that guy. Sounds like a terrible assistant.
My vision of when you say that is like you having little fire dancing between your fingers when you should fire that guy.
Yeah, basically.
We're taking good care of them. If you'd like to see them, we can show them to you. We just needed them for a moment. You can have them back after we're done.
Well, I suppose a greater need of things is always something I am willing to listen to. Although I am curious why you would have stolen these clothes.
It's not stolen, your people give them away.
Your friend is an asshole.
He warms up to you.
Takes a bit.
You warm up to him, I should say.
Literally.
At which point, Juliana, you do notice that Gerdas is kind of rapidly just... He isn't necessarily doing anything in the moment, but you can see he's kind of poised on the edge. Almost fight or flight response. It's starting to go active.
Everyone looks normal, right?
Define normal.
No one's hiding anything, like visage-wise, or...
No one is under any sort of concealment spells or anything in that regard.
magical items all around, I assume.
Many of them have magical items, yes.
With him being on edge, I'd probably use True Sight.
Would you point it out at all? Because you're the only one is she the only one that sees it?
She is the only one that sees it.
Fucking Shepherd.
I wouldn't use True Sight. I would lean down and use Guidance on Darius, and then let him know that Jairus is on edge.
Okay.
Jairus, how's your father doing with your sword in his back?
Just as dead as when you all poisoned him. Although thank you for your concern. It's nice to hear from you after so many years.
Did he die before or after the sword?
Well, whenever the poison took effect, it would be within, maybe a few minutes, I imagine. At least as nice as done.
So it was before the sword?
I don't see necessarily why you have right to even be here.
I don't see how you're a king.
Well, whenever you're in line for the throne and the person who is on the throne dies...
Isn't
By
that
his
treason
son.
when you murder the king, though? Or am I mistaken?
Allegations which have been brought up by thieves and escapists and never once brought to light.
I mean, we helped your damn city. I thought you
From the top.
Really, as I hear it, you blew up all of our records and then fled.
From the balcony, I'm just gonna yell, that was me, and I will openly admit to that. But what I won't stand up here for is for the accusations with little to no proof of your king being poisoned by us, Ublein's hammer. Now I understand you in line for the throne, young man, but don't get it twisted.
There's no need to rush it.
If we wanted to kill your dad,
Everybody go ahead and make a perception check except for Juliana. Because it will not matter. I'm going to speak insight.
Fair enough.
insight, same thing.
Terrible.
24.
I was just about to say something too.
4.
17.
You two
Great roll.
see
Great
just anger rapidly filling in his face.
roll. Yeah, I can imagine I'm oblivious to that. I don't give a shit.
And there is a shift beneath the table. Which Ignatius,
Magical shift?
not a magical shift,
Okay.
you see there is now a gun in his hand.
Shall we table this discussion for later? Aren't there more pressing matters to attend to?
I am now
Yes.
reaching for my bow.
Okay.
Yeah. We should.
If that gun comes above the table, there will be an arrow through his hand.
Okay.
So we both see it?
No, just Marcellus
Yeah.
Just
and
you
Juliana noticed the shift. Ignatius saw the gun because of True Sight. So I can see through the table.
We should probably get on what we came here to do before he decides to use what he has in his hand. But if after that you feel the need to use that, so be it. At your own risk.
I'll keep
Use
that in
what?
mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, seeing it, I would lean down to Darius and be like, he has a weapon drawn under the table.
Don't you think murdering one king is enough?
I will feel no remorse over the loss of a mouthy robot.
My lord,
That's King Mouthy Robot to you.
from
King of the dead race.
Not as dead as you think.
Give it time.
from the balcony.
Is that
My
so?
my lord,
Hold on.
I would watch what you say.
Let me revise a few things then.
Which point Longtooth places a kind of an inert shield down before him on the table. You call that here to talk? Why don't we get on with it? We all have better places to be.
Longtooth. Finally a person worth talking to. How are you?
Growing increasingly bored. Truth be told.
Oh. Does that play golf with an elf?
No, not particularly.
We were just exchanging pleasantries before we address what happened.
Your pleasantries on farmer like that.
He started it.
Who's the
Not
king?
them.
I just finished it.
Who's the king of Fire's altar?
That would be Richard.
Richard? Okay. As soon as he said what happened, I'm just gonna just slightly look over at Richard.
You see Richard just focus solely on you.
What, you want a kiss?
Those two letters are right.
Ooh, he's a clever one. Shame he could have died.
Which points to the space.
Eventually.
Alright, if we are all done waving our hypothetical dicks around, then maybe some actual business that would be fun to attend to.
Unleash.
Finish the ale and get up and walk over to, I guess, the bartender. Did that seem like who was in charge?
Yeah, that's Maxie, yes.
I'd like to make my address now. Not sure exactly where you'd like me to do it, but
My tavern is yours.
all right.
There's a stage.
Not the stage as such, there's kind of, it's almost like an L-shaped building. And going down the longer part of the building is these several tables that have been joined up. And off in the other corner of the L is where the actual bar is.
Okay. I'll just walk up behind Darius and wait for my turn.
I'll sort of posture up, get to the nearest, I guess, highest point in the room. And he will say, "Members and representatives of all these beautiful nations, yesterday the joint nation of Hermos between dragonkind and humankind was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and ground forces of the Empire of Fire's Altar.
The moment that the words leave your lips, the entire table explodes. Not physically. Just everyone shouting and pointing fingers. Just, why the fuck would he there? And just people shouting back and forth. You see the guards in the room immediately tense up and start to prepare their weapons. Just everything is high tension powder keg right now.
Now, I'm not quite finished.
Slowly the words begin to die.
That was good. I have him back up to get everyone to shut up.
Now, Hermos was enjoying its first year of true harmony, prosperity, and peace, looking forward to sharing all of this with all of the other great nations. Yesterday, as a random act of war with no solicitation, Fire's Altar's naval forces caused severe damage to our southern and southeastern coasts. A good handful of Hermos's peace-driven lives were lost on that dreadful day. If it were not for the combined efforts of myself, the Dragon King Ignatius, as he beckons towards Ignatius, and my loyal friends and family, as he motions to Juliana and Marcellus, I am certain the battle would have been lost and many more innocent lives would have been taken. As acting king and commander-in-chief of our militia and what's left of our naval forces, as he looks at Richard, I have taken as many precautions as possible to maintain the defense of my nation.
At which point, Eldrin leans forward, places sensitive. Most interesting, that you, of all people, would bring up the defenses of your friends and family, when word has reached many of us that you personally killed a few members of your family not so long ago.
Well, I'm not done with my speech, so if you want to interject, which one are you talking about? My mother?
Your mother and your brother, as we heard.
My brother killed himself, effectively. Now, if you're talking about the Spider Queen,
Indeed.
From the top, from the balcony. That would be me. Arrows do good for the blackened heart.
I assured him that it would be okay since she put the knife to my pregnant wife's throat.
That I didn't do.
From the balcony. Why don't you let him finish, and we'll answer. We'll have a Q&A after. My lord.
Any more questions?
Several, but I'll wait. Your friend at the balcony has made his point. Which point, Marcellus, make an arcana check for me.
Oh, God. No, I'm not comfortable with this dice right now.
I would say, given what's being done, you actually do have advantage on this check.
Okay.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
shitty.
Okay, 10.
You doubled it. Good job.
You know what? I'm going to burn an inspiration point.
Hey!
Because I can.
Probably a good time to use it.
Yes. Okay, Pike. Bless me. Bless me, Pike. Bless me. Another 10.
So 20.
20, not that.
That's not bad. That's a lot better
18
than
is what you
mine.
need.
All right.
You feel a slight burning in your shoulder, and you recognize the familiar feeling of a hunter's mark being placed on you.
Oh, shit.
Can I see you cast that? What's your say?
I would say yes, given that you can see magical traces in the light. So yes,
Which one did it?
it was Eldrin. Eldrin is the representative from the Tower of Hunters.
Oh. Right. How many people here don't like us?
Almost all of
It's
them.
increasing.
Probably half of them.
It's a fluctuating number.
Richard. Oh.
Well, suddenly we have an agreement, though.
Right.
My lord.
I'll give you the chance to do something beforehand if you want.
Oh,
Because you're seeing this as, I assume we were
I can actually
just finishing.
tell you. I'm gonna use subtle spell and cast message.
Okay.
Slick.
I'm just gonna say, you hear in your head, it was Eldrin.
I returned the favor and placed Hunter's mark on him.
You see a soft smile spread over his features.
1 for 1. Interesting. Interesting. We mean no disrespect, my lord.
See Darius sort of reposture himself. Now, I am open to the negotiation and discussion of reparation and assistance from any of you, but what I am absolutely not up for is the negotiation of the lives of my people. Now, the terrorist directives of Fire's Altar calls for the extermination or subjugation of all of dragonkind, and to make no distinctions between my military and civilians, including women and children. The nation of Hermos respects the people of Fire's Altar, but we absolutely condemn their leader's awful and violent regime. The regime that my group and I discovered almost 2 years ago while visiting Fire's Altar, which led to the decision of covering up and hiding of these peaceful dragons for fear of something of this nature. I believe I have interpreted the will of my citizens of all race and color, that this manner of violence and treachery will never again befall us. There is no disputing the fact that our interests, our people, and our nation is in grave danger. With full confidence in my armed forces and the unbreakable will of the dragons, we will endure. And he motions towards Ignatius.
I will walk up and stand beside him. People of the nations of Solis, I am Ignatius, the Crimson Wind, son of Heol and Dragon King. I stand before you today disgusted at the attack on my people and the people of Hermos. Sorry, lost my place. I thought myself the last of my kind once, broken by the loss of my true form. I was elated to find my people still existed, hidden from a world that wants to see them dead. I am here to tell you all, unburdened by my pride as a dragon, that we only wish to live in peace, in a world where we are no longer hunted out of fear or for sport. We are not your enemy. We only wish to live. However, the violence and atrocities my people have been subjugated to ends today. For even as we call for peace, we are prepared for war. I will not sit idly by and watch my brothers and sisters truly become extinct. nor will I watch as Fire's Altar creates abominations of war that are but a paltry imitation of myself.
I
And
start
will
banging
look
my
directly
bow on
at
the
Richard.
fucking rail. I'm getting jacked up.
As you say this, Ignatius, Caleb speaks up. The dragons are longer lived than most races. Perhaps any except maybe the elves, depending on how long they live in battle. But my people are not yield, and we remember the war of Leandros, and we remember our people being burned as dragons terrorized the entire world. And now you tell us dragons want nothing but peace.
Well, having most of your species decimated to the point of extinction will do that for you. May I finish?
By all means.
How much does Juliana know about that war? Does she know that it wasn't?
Fair enough. Perhaps slightly less than Marcellus, given his recent affiliation, but,
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
but as far as the history books have reported, quite a bit.
Just curious.
The dragons consider any attack on King Darius, Hiamos, or any of our family as a personal attack against them, and will respond with a wrath tenfold. I beg all of you to take heart what we have come here to say today, and I implore you, again looking directly at Richard, to think carefully. Motion for King Darius to finish his speech.
Fire's Altar, if it so wishes to avoid an all-out war, will meet these exact demands. They will willingly hand over all of their warforged abominations that they used to attack us to the appropriate authorities so that they might be dealt with accordingly. They will hand over any and all prisoners that they have smuggled from the nation of Hiamos, whether they were used for the informations about the dragons or not. They will give full access of any and all information, place of building or training, including the military, to the nation of Hiamos and its advocates, so that this may never happen again. Immediate aid and reparation of our coastal cities and waterways that you damaged with your warships. All of these demands are non-negotiable in any way, and this speech will serve as a declaration of war if they are not met within 24 hours. With that being said, I call to arms any nation that believes in peace and justice. I call to arms any nation that values what Hiamos has stood for thousands of years. I call any druid that enjoys tending their garden in the cool mid-spring air, any paladin or cleric in their righteous might that enjoys an evening sitting at dinner with their family and loved ones, any monk or ranger that truly appreciates the solitude of a temple or simple beauty of the forests. Or maybe you're just a bard that fancies singing a nice melody from time to time. Hiamos and its people need you now more than ever to see through this premeditated invasion and win through with absolute victory.
I just start banging my arrow, my bow again on the rail. Out of excitement.
There is an excitement of muttering coming from the balconies. At which point, Bethy immediately stands up. And they must but have our backing. Peace is something that we have fought for, and it was hard earned, and the era of prosperity did not come about by attacks and declarations of war. It may not last forever, but I will not see it burn fruitlessly. At which point,
I want to read the mind of Richard.
okay, is that a wisdom save or what is that?
That is 21 wisdom save. Using channel divinity read thoughts.
It's 12, so no, he does not make that save.
Okay. His surface thoughts.
The surface thoughts are essentially... They're far calmer than you would expect. You would expect denial, anger, panic. Instead, he's very peaceful, and his thoughts are more calculated. And you see him thinking, almost taking check of each of the people around the table. Sizing up allies, sizing up enemies.
Gotcha. Okay.
At which point, Hilda speaks up. We all understand being fruitlessly attacked is, of course, a horrible abomination, and something that should not be held lightly. However, do we have anything beyond your word that this was an attack from Fire's Altar?
You can go and check the 25 dead bodies.
At which point, Everett actually speaks up. Truth be told, my brother has told me many different stories from the times of this war attack. And as I hear it, it was an unsolicited attack gained from Fire's altar during a time of peace from Enos. I speak as a queen who has seen much struggle and panic over the fact of what we once all considered to be a dead kingdom come back to life. But as my brother tells me, and I trust him completely, this was an unearned attack. Which much cunning is done. Also, if you see him again, then he should come over there.
I will do that.
Now, Juliana, you see kind of there's far more panic in Richard. He was not expecting claims to be easily verified at this meeting. Which point Richard leans forward. Well, I can certainly say that if there was an attack on him, as Fire's altar is responsible for the damage caused, we could, of course, provide all reparations to see your city repaired and your citizens' lives returned to them. I promise that this matter will be looked into, and I am open to negotiation in having our city's militaries dragged out. I understand an internal investigation brings only more suspicion. However, an area where I must place concern is in turning over all our resources to a single kingdom. If our military and our resources are to be sought out by other kingdoms after this atrocity, that is understandable.
When you were listening, I said Hemos and its advocates.
Do you have listed advocates at this time?
Were you not listening? Let me put it this way. Are you open to negotiations right now?
Of course.
Zone of truth.
Okay. Why did you say that?
21, I'm guessing.
19.
19.
That's wisdom?
Yeah.
Negotiation is the whole reason I'm here.
Did you, unsolicited, attack Hemos?
I did not.
Insight check from the balcony.
Go ahead. Juliana, if you would like to do.
No, don't insult us. Don't insult the lower working class, okay?
I'll let you do your work. I'll let you do your work first. I'll say
21.
Okay.
42. Just
28. I rolled a 9.
Oh my! I hate you.
D&D's on, everyone. Loot crate, everyone.
Speeches, everyone.
If I could tell you, you guys really wrote that out very well. Like that was some real.
Josh showed me his part, and I was like, okay. Time to match the intensity.
Do I get the feeling that Zone of Truth took?
Do you know what feeling?
Any spell, you can tell if it took or not.
Then you feel that the spell did not hit.
I'm gonna lean over and whisper in Darius's ear. He's trying to be professional and businesslike. I believe that he's not going to be honest. He's going to try to find a way to work through this instead of helping and find
My
himself
message
in
to
the middle.
Richard.
Sure.
You're not going to tell the truth, are you?
Oh, that's it.
A few seconds as a response. Still more trustworthy than a dragon.
I sense that my spell didn't take. It matters not. Does anyone here vouch for this man?
At which point, Jerdis, as well as, Caleb, goes down. And kills us. Well, I cannot speak personally for the adventures of Rachel, but Zoltar has always been a good friend of mine. They have provided my citizens with resources and provided us with good travels of trade. I've always found him to be an upright man in his own right. I cannot say that I distrust you for any particular reason, except your housing of the dragons. But I also have no reason to distrust Rachel.
Shall I try something?
One second. So do I have your word that you will stand by then, if it comes to war?
You have my word that if war is found, and as we look into this, if Zoltar is guilty of what you claim, then I will stand by you. If not, however, then I will meet you on the battlefield.
That is more than fair.
What about the other one? Prick.
Darius. My father made Darius here, before he was a king, a member of his own personal inquisitive squad. At which point they immediately made several allegations against many of our members, blew up a hall full of records, and then fled the country, and have not been back to visit or claim their innocence since.
Before you carry on, would you like to step into the zone of truth?
Make a persuasion check.
Wow.
I'm going to use my other channel divinity.
You still have guidance.
Oh, do I?
Oh,
I
that's
didn't have anything. Do I?
Only less than a minute.
I'll cast it again.
You can.
Oh.
It's up to you.
Would you let me? Right
I
now?
will say yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
What did you say? Persuasion?
Yes.
34.
I need it.
Oh, fuck.
Paladin!
You see a
Arr.
defiance pass over his face. He almost just angrily dwarven huffles his way into the zone of truth.
Attaboy.
Sorry, McBeat at 20%. This time you do sense the spell ticks.
Would you like to say that again?
My father made these people his own personal inquisitor squad, at which point they immediately blew up a hall full of records, fled the country, and have not returned back since to claim innocence.
Did you kill your father?
No.
Did you have your father killed?
No.
Well, hell.
It is true to you all that we blew up the record room. That was our blunderance.
From the balcony. I already admitted that.
And we are willing to make reparations if he is willing to accept it. We are truly sorry, but one thing we did not do was betray the King Ubline, who bestowed upon us the title and the honor of Ubline's hammer.
At this, you see a slight shock come over his face.
So from the balcony, I just yelled out. Now I'm just having a general conversation with my group. Hey, so if we didn't kill the king, and he didn't kill the king, who else? Who killed the king?
Which is worth stating just as a general above table moment. Zone of Truth doesn't necessarily mean they have to respond 100% honestly. They can tell half truths.
Yeah.
Or attempt to
White
deceive.
lies.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure that was clear.
Yeah.
Because some questions kind of have two answers depending on how you're phrased.
How did you come to find your father?
I found my father poisoned and in extraordinary ill health, delirious, and in so much pain he could barely speak.
What was he doing beforehand?
I admit I had not been home for several hours before.
Doing?
I had been out attempting to court one of the dwarves that is in town. We see slight embarrassment, but not a sense of lying. I think just this is easy clear to this.
When you found him suffering, did you try to save him?
I and our healers did what we could. It did not work.
Darius, if we burned the records and fled, how could we have been there to do it? We were in Merchant's Haven.
Exactly. We've never been. We haven't had the time, I should say, to clear our name quite yet. So better yet, why not do it now?
Were you aware your father was going to be killed?
Not before that moment, no.
Could it be that we are at odds and we were blamed for something that we had no hand in? And we also were blaming you unjustly? Is this a third party?
As she says that, I'm going to look around the room at all of the leaders. Watch
See-
their facial expressions.
Make an insight check. I'll say with advantage given that there are a lot of leaders here.
I'd be pretty focused on Darius.
23.
You see more just kind of look of consideration. I confess I had not considered it. And I've been very angry with you for many years. For a very long time.
It's understandable if you thought we did it, but we didn't.
As much as we enjoyed his poems, all joking aside, we had no intention of.
So might someone explain to me then why I found this? He reaches down, pulls out a box, places it on the table. Coated with the poison that killed my father. He pushes the box towards you, Darius.
I'll open it.
Inside, you find a black feathered arrow, like what Marcellus used to use before he was able to equip his bow with the same arrow repeatedly.
Do you recognize this?
It's one of my older arrows. I haven't used those since we killed those Night Sisters in outside of Heart's creation.
Is this your own personal craft, or is this an arrow type that you were forced to use?
Would it be an arrow that I just buy?
There would
like a
have been
brand.
something that you've kind of basically taken to tinkering with and altering in your own way, but the base arrow is one that you can buy.
But these are just base arrows. I mean, I make changes to the blade itself for, armor piercing.
So with your inflection on it, it was used to destroy the Night Sisters who were after you from the beginning. Couldn't it have been used to set you up quite easily, especially if you used it on Night Sisters?
Yeah,
Which point Longtooth speaks up. You all use this while Night Sister. What means this?
They're a group of they're-
Marcellus, come down and step into the zone of truth just so it eases their minds.
So I calmly, walk
How
around
big
and
is
then
the
come
zone?
down the steps.
I think
I think
it's
it's
30
20.
foot.
I think it's 20 also.
I mean, we really want to get the truth. Why don't everyone step into the zone of truth?
15-foot radius sphere.
Oh.
So I come down the steps and I step in.
It's still a pretty hefty circle.
It's a decent size circle.
Begin the questioning.
Go ahead with what you're going to say.
Oh yes. These arrows are the base model of them. You can purchase. The Night Sisters are an assassin's guild that we had been were hunting me. They had by my father. Then I killed my father, and then we kind of wiped the Night Sisters out because they were becoming a pain in my ass and Darius's ass as well.
My ass doesn't mean
Your ass as well, yes. They were able to shapeshift as well.
At which point Longtooth speaks up again. We use this term Night Sister as a bedtime story for our children. They are not real guild.
Oh, yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
What?
Where?
Go ahead,
No,
make a persuasion
No,
check.
they still are
They
because
still
we
are.
didn't kill the mother.
right, we haven't killed them.
the mother of the night is still alive.
And after
You two go
encountering-
ahead and make persuasion checks, or you may only make way with advantage.
And after encountering them multiple times,
What do you
going
wanna do?
after my own family and loved ones,
Yep.
they are very real.
Do I still have your guidance or no?
No, you would have used it for the previous check.
It is a one-time consumption. And
Oh,
I
is it one time?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can blast it.
25.
What about?
Yeah, once before the spell ends.
I'm sorry. I forgot I used my channel divinity. That would have been 30.
Oh.
Right.
So, at which point Longtooth looks around. Well, you speak of assassin guild, and someone who's killed with poison.
That's what we're trying to get at. We think he was framed.
Unless, Jadis, did anybody approach you just about what you would like, your dreams, your aspirations? Did you have any conversations or pillow talk with?
My father was not a young man, but neither was he near death. He handled most all our business dealings, and while I was somewhat being brought up for the throne, it was not assumed to be something I would be holding for many years.
Understandable. Your father was a strong man.
My father was
man.
a great many things.
But near death he was not.
In his final minutes, things were very bad for him.
Did the apothecary determine what kind of poison it was?
I believe nightshade, she says.
Fits the description of the Night Sisters.
Seems like that MO.
Many of their weapons consisted of
Now, I
nightshade.
am given to understand you were approached in Zia by a bounty hunter guild.
Yes, I was.
This is why I am thinking maybe you killed my father. You meet with bounty hunter, and I find your arrow with poison.
That conversation was far, far, far different from anything about King Oobline. What was that conversation about?
Phineas's brother.
Yeah, wasn't it about Phineas's brother? Yeah.
We didn't even do it.
Yeah. That was about a former member of a deceased member of our party's family. The Arakakra we were with. The one that was fighting King Darius' brother before his brother self-destructed. And took our friend with him.
My brother was,
Solis.
well, he did beat me. So not as much of a loser, but he was brainwashed by my father into killing Phineas's brother and displaying him as a public message.
Juliana, you notice a slight smile breaking out of her Longtooth's face to this.
Does our friend being on display amuse you?
Well, we pissed him off. We displayed him. It's a little funny.
Cut your arms off and stuff you in a bowl. Would that be funny?
A little.
I just chuckled a little bit.
I think he just has a different sense of humor than most people. It was very shameful, and our friend didn't take to it too well, so he challenged my brother, and they both lost.
All of you so passionate about your families.
Lord Jadas. Lord Jadas. Believe me when I tell you, we weren't even on the continent when your father was attacked with this poison. We had no idea the numbers of the Night Sisters. So far, we have slain over 20 of them. And once again, they hide in plain sight with such ease, as the shifting ability allows them to.
I imagine over the last year or so, since we haven't been actively hunting them, they've replenished themselves to a certain degree in which the mother still lives. She was rumored to have been harboring possibly them and herself in the lake.
At which point you see kind of just a flurry of emotions fly through Jonas. He stops and looks up. Do any of you still have my father's bones? Perchance.
Possibly. Wait, you said do they have his bones?
It's poems.
Poems. Oh, do they have his poems? Oh. I cannot
keen
answer
mind,
that,
Keen.
but
What? You have keen mind?
Keen mind only
I
works
do
for
have
a
keen mind, but it's a month.
Oh.
I stopped that.
Can I try to remember the only one I ever... No, Juliana never heard any.
No.
The one time she met him, she was suggesting to shut him up.
Yep.
Yeah, it was Chloe.
Chloe heard like 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I can say this, and I say this for all of you who have joined us in this council meeting. To keep somebody with the ability to see through the magic, to see through the shifting abilities, for your protection and your towns and your city's protection. I warned you, the Night Sisters are not to be taken lightly. They kill mercilessly. They have no feelings. They are quick. And once again, King Jardas, I am sorry about King Ublan.
You see a single solitary tear fall down his face.
I'm sorry if this sounds rude, but just to be thorough, you had absolutely nothing to do with his death.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Is he still standing in the zone of truth with me?
Yes.
He is? Would Darius get help on this? Because I'm questioning, or I'm talking to him.
Add an extra 2 to your result.
There you go.
Okay. I'm actually going to burn an inspiration on that too.
Okay.
Is that with Channel Divinity?
40.
Give up that inspiration.
Give me your inspiration.
Homie.
Oh, man, for a second there, I thought it was going to be high.
At which point, you nod softly to Caleb. It is considered a great dishonor for a dwarf to be seen in such a state. I found my father. Our healers could not help him. And he was riding around covered in his own spit and shit.
Did I notice him nod?
Yeah, it was not a hidden nod.
That's why he mentioned a dwarven thing, because he nodded to...
Yeah, Caleb's also a dwarf.
Yeah.
Okay.
In order to spare my father what dignity he might still have outside of his poetry, I ended up killing him, and with what was left. By the time I had to do it, he was in so much pain, he was no longer cognitive or making any sense at all.
You put him out of his misery.
So when you ask, did I stab my father? Yes, but I did not kill him.
Then I wholeheartedly apologize for my previous statements.
And I for mine. Again, I understood that you were the man who killed my father.
I was not. But you have my word, and I assume the word of my friends here,
I nod.
that after this wartime with Hiamos is dealt with, we will help you find who did this.
Well then, Ruthanor shall assist you in this.
Hold out his hand.
More like stealth.
Yeah,
Darius,
I kneel to shake his hand.
if he can provide the funds, I can bring back his father.
My sister has an offer for you.
I am listening.
She can bring him back, since he did not die of natural causes.
What would you need for this?
25,000 in diamonds.
You shall have it. As soon as you can come to Ruthanor, you shall have it.
Hiamos will pay for it.
And Ruthanor shall see your ships repaired. I know you have your daughter, but we have many talented smiths. They are at your disposal for as long as you need.
Thank you.
At which point, Juliana, you can see Richard is definitely beginning to sweat more thoroughly. Well, I suppose that leaves us with only the matter of the source of this attack. Well, as I've said, I shall make sure my gates are open. And my military is yours to question. Any assistance I can provide in this matter shall be yours.
I imagine it wouldn't be very thorough if your military is anything like you.
The military are chosen for their prowess in battle and for their discipline. I was chosen for my ability to lead a kingdom.
How many more warforged do you have?
At last count, we had 8,000. How many were on your island?
7.
Wasn't it about 700?
It was over 7,000.
7,000?
That's why it's kind of staggering that you guys managed to leave. Granted, half of those didn't make it to shore, but still.
You say you have 8,000 left.
We had 8,000 at my last count total.
So you still have 1,000 then? Roughly.
Why would you believe anything he has to say?
I don't.
He probably has 15,000 more. 20,000, 25,000.
We've been making them steadily ever since your daughter-in-law showed us what we would need for it. We were able to make 8,000 within the past year and some odd months.
Right, that was a mistake on our part, trusting you with that information.
So if you're steadily creating them, you're creating them now. What makes any other nation safe from you if you have limitless armies?
There is no guarantee of safety since it was unsolicited, as I look around at all the leaders.
You see, definitely there's a mixture of curiosity and even some shared anger.
Are there any other nations you are wishing to attack?
I don't wish to attack any nations.
Just my people.
I admit my country is more than a little uneasy towards dragons. But as I say, this attack did not come from my order.
Uneasy with them being so far away and in secret.
Tell me,
It may not have been with your order, but was it with your permission?
it was not done to my knowledge. This is the first time hearing of it.
As the leader, I find that hard to believe.
How long have you been the king, Darius?
About almost 2 years now.
And you are able to vet all of your officers and lieutenants.
Yeah.
Wait.
How large is your army?
Well, after your warforged mercilessly killed 25 of them, we're 25 less.
My point being, I host millions of people, and I'm unable to personally involve myself in matters as much as I like.
So you're trying to say that someone under your employ just sent out 7,000 warforged to murder
Under my
all
employ or somebody who built them. They are not simple machines.
without your knowledge? They moved 7,000 warforged.
And it's not like you.
My first knowledge was when the warships were missing. Then I received this notice.
Well, now you know the ships were missing.
I saw ships were missing, yes.
They're about ships, just not about your army, no?
I was unaware that the workforce were missing.
Have
They
you,
are
spoken,
housed deep beneath the castle.
have you spoken to your own about going against or not confirming war?
I had no reason to go to war. Before now, I did not know anything about these dragons.
But I mean, have you spoken to your own at all about having just about started a war? Is there not chaos in your own kingdom if we're not listening to you, or if we're not coming to you for it?
There will be. But prior to now, my focuses have always been on ensuring our own defenses. The worst trouble we have had is with a band of nomads off to the north. Nothing untoward.
My lord, would you happen to have a high rank, or would you happen to have an archmage, or maybe a high-level healer of sorts, a cleric of sorts?
Not one that comes to mind in particular. I'm sure I have some heroes and some priests on the back.
Okay. You might want to invest in one to see if maybe one of these Night Sisters posed as you and gave a direct order.
Julian, make an insight check.
What do you have for breakfast? 7
2 eggs, 1 hen, and some biscuits. No gravy. He's a monster.
Red alert.
No gravy. He's a monster.
31.
Loot crate, everyone.
That please.
Hey guys, make sure you support the Natural One webpage. That's not running yet, but it will be.
Here we go.
I'm gonna cast True Sight on myself.
Okay. No notable difference.
We access the word Night Sister.
Well, as you have pointed out, these Night Sisters are shape-shifting assassins. Yes?
Why reaction now after they've been brought up multiple times?
I confess the idea of them infiltrating my own kingdom had not yet occurred to me. That concerns me greatly.
Can
Do you think you could do me a favor?
Possibly.
Are all your lieutenants truthfully at your every command?
If you had asked me a week ago, I would have said yes.
Would you be able to send out a missive to them to come here right now?
Yes, I could.
All of them?
Yes.
All right.
See,
We will wait.
you see him pull out a stone and begin focusing for a few moments.
Shall I call for a reinforcement just in case? I'm talking about my holy serpent.
No, I don't wish to.
They are good at binding and silencing.
I don't wish to put anyone in an aggressive state.
As you say that, I pull out my bow, pull out an arrow. Oh, don't mind me, folks. I've been down this road before. The first one that lies that can be seen as a night sister, we'll kill it right here.
Keep in mind how shape changes. I could make them look like a person.
Is there anything more than just council members and guards in here? Are there civilians in here?
Yeah, civilians in the hobbies.
I say to the bartender, you might want to get the civilians out of here in case this goes quite south.
You look at him, he looks around. You're trying to get them to move.
Fair point.
That's not horrible, she thinks.
Ask their permission.
There's something that does not happen about this. Something is very wrong. I cannot place the pieces together. Something. There is a missing element here.
If all of you do not mind, I wish to summon a divine being to help. In case a Night Sister does show itself, it is purely for our own defense. And I promise it will not be, it is a being of good. It will not and cannot harm you.
You see Medley immediately kind of just perk up out of interest. I would very much like to see him.
Do I have all of your permission?
See them slowly. Eldrin is the last to nod, but he does eventually nod.
Thank you. And I'm going to go ahead and summon the Holy Serpent from before.
Okay.
And it is going to show up in the as that young female elf form that it took before disappearing, so that it kind of keeps everyone.
So there is a bright flash of light, and for a moment all of you are blinded. Then as your sight slowly returns to you, you see the young elven form of Omen appear, standing before Julie.
And anyone of like that can sense divine magic, that is just pure magic. It is a celestial.
Which point Vera speaks up. That is most impressive.
Thank you. It's something I've only done once before, but it proved extremely useful.
You know, you guys hear the stomping of boots outside.
You want Legion?
No.
And Richard stands up. 10 hutch! You guys hear immediately just the
Also, my True Sight is not concentration, right?
It did not.
No.
Okay, then I still have it.
So, you guys all look outside. Richard gestures, and standing outside is a group of 50 lieutenants, dressed in military garb, in the blood red flames that fires off their blood jackets.
I whisper to Juliana, tell me which one it is.
Put it down here.
Let us go find out, shall we?
Yes.
While they're doing that, would any of you else like to resolve any issues you have with myself, my friends, or Hermos?
Can I look around? Elder speaks up. No issue with your kingdom. However, there is an issue I wish to bring forward to the table.
Out with it.
For those of you who don't know, I am the head of Blood Hunters. Our duty is to keep the world rid of evil creatures and things that would threaten to destroy it. And we have had varying amounts of success on this. We were established years ago by Alfred the Shifter, who was a hero of the War of Leandros. And as such, we have made it our duty to eliminate threats that would cause, let's say, unfavorable results for the rest of humanity.
Dude, you formed a supernatural hunting group. Good shit.
I mean, kind of.
Good shit. A bunch of Van Helsings rolling around. That's what's up.
Think more like Helsing.
Yeah.
Which point? I have heard tales of a massive beast on the ground. Something that seeks to destroy the world.
We know its name.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're not the only ones.
I warn you, if you know it, it knows where you are at all times.
That
Or
is
so I've been told.
that is a pleasing surprise.
We plan to address that after the war,
Did this motherfucker just bring it on to...
if a war comes.
Well, when you do, my blood hunters want the first call ones.
Would you like to speak to our messenger, who gave us all of this information?
I very much would.
She is in quite bad shape, as she takes the form of a little girl, but she is thousands of years old.
You
I
are
asked-
full of surprises.
You don't know the half of it.
Now I am even more interested.
But we are willing to work with you on this. It is something we wish to address at some point in the future.
I believe your daughter-in-law has had the pleasure of working with my brother. He is not part of our organization, of course. But he's skilled enough if you need an investigator. Although he's a bit of a prick.
Aren't we all? Ignatius?
Yeah.
It's a flash like lightning. But for a moment, you guys are all deafened by a roar of thunder. Just standing before you is the pale, feeble form of Kia.
God.
Kia,
Hello, Ignatius. Hi, Darius.
how are you?
I am.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
As I said, and I'll look at, who was it again?
It was Eldred.
Eldred.
Swear to God, it looks like fucking Bruce Bolton.
I actually designed him to look
He
like Stephen
does.
Moffat.
Wow. Good shit.
So that's funny that that's what you say.
Yeah.
I straight up designed him to look like Stephen Moffat.
I'll look down at Kia. They're going to be as nice as they can, but this man here has some questions for you about you know who.
I know.
Just answer them to the best of your ability as if you were talking to us, please.
Okay.
I'll look at him. Ask away.
He kind of pulls her off to a side and they begin conversing in low tones about Polyuit and the dragon of terror is locked beneath the earth. I will say that my brother has told me of the spell used to contain the beast. That's why I find it particularly funny that it should choose to be unleashed now.
What do you mean?
Give me a second while I look up the name of the fucking spell.
Says the ceiling.
So I just looked at Conjure Celestial again. If I cast it at 9th level, I can do a challenge rating 5 creature. I can summon a fucking unicorn.
If you name it Charlie, I'm out.
Don't you tempt me. I also have it. I can summon a Holophant, which has an aura of invulnerability, and anything spell level 5 or lower can't touch you.
Nice.
Tell me, are you familiar at all with the spell Imprisonment?
I am familiar with the spell, although I do not have the capacity to cast it. I imagine my elf friend does.
My brother does. And according to him, that is what was used to house this beast beneath the earth. The spell imprisons the monster until such time as a specific demand is met. It is not always successful, but in this case it was, and it has held the beast underground for this many years. The reason I find this interesting is because according to my brother, the condition upon which its release will be given is that there will be a group of warriors capable of defeating it.
We're the undoing of the world, guys.
We're the first seal and the last seal.
I cannot say I've ever been a believer in prophecies or fortunes, but it is a very interesting time to be alive.
I can say that before my redemption I wasn't either, but it grows on you.
So, Eagle is outside checking through the guards, the lieutenants, I should say. You too.
And anybody else who wishes to go.
Just yell for me.
Okay.
You have Truce still up?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
You go down the line one by one,
And a koala.
and your true sight does not set off anything unexpected.
Through all 50 of them.
They're all 50.
Anything?
So far seems they are all...
Well, I should rephrase it. There are a few things that come apparent. One of them clearly has a drinking issue. One is definitely having an affair, but nothing in the range of what you're considering.
As I pass the one that's having an affair, I'm just going to look at him and go, shame on you, and keep going.
See him just, oh no.
This is disappointing, but a relief in sorts.
That just makes me wonder who sent off an army.
Do any of them look nervous?
Go ahead and make an insight check.
All right, Pike. Let me see what you got. Natural 20.
Good shit.
You see a lot of confusion, some concern, some battle ready, but not necessarily nervous.
I'll use my bonus action to shed light from my book.
Okay.
And
It's bright, just, and there's kind of a pulsating aura of light. I believe it's 15 foot from Juliana. She holds open the pages of the book that is just shining brightly. Marcel's at her chewing and looking at the book.
Yeah, I'm just like, the purpose of this, Juliana.
are any of you in league with anyone who has sent forces against Hemos?
Is this through...
I'm just saying it out loud.
Okay, you just asked the question.
Mhm.
After a while, they'll kind of look at each other and then shake their heads.
But I just didn't know if like the light would be intimidating because the whole...
So one more time, what was your question specifically?
Are any of you in league with anyone who sent an army against Hemos? I believe
Okay.
that's it. So,
Sorry, I was considering exactly that. Which point, 10 of them step forward from the line. At which point, they kind of look at each other. We received word to attack Camos and destroy the dragons, as well as the king and queen who reside there.
who did the word come from?
No response. Go ahead and make an intimidation check, actually.
Alright. I assume they're not evil, so I don't get advantage.
No, they do not. Yeah, an evil, they do not send it off in your book.
5. I'm not very intimidating.
No response.
I'm going to kick one in the back of the leg and to kind of like bring him down to one knee and put my dagger to his throat. And I believe she asked you a question.
They lean up, they sit up straight, as if to actually elongate the neck.
Would the 10 of you mind stepping towards me for a moment?
The one that's down on the ground kind of looks at you.
Except you.
The 9 remaining do so.
I'm gonna cast Sending and send to Darius. Say 10 of them claim to be in league with the person who sent forces against Hemos. If you wish to come outside and ask them yourself.
My sister is vetting your lieutenants outside, and apparently 10 of them know who did this and will not say. So anyone that wants to see this for themselves are welcome to come out and watch.
At which point, everyone but Everett, Alec, and Eldred step outside.
And I'll let the light fade. So that doesn't blind everyone who just steps
Okay.
outside.
I'm out the door.
So I've asked
Starting without me halfway.
if any of them are in league with the one who sent forces against Hemos, and these 10 have stepped forward, but will not speak past that.
Because they cannot or will not.
Will not. I have not done anything to them.
And
At which point, Richard slowly draws his sword. Well, you have the traitors. Let's see them put to death.
before that,
Wait.
The dead cannot tell us who did it and who is behind it.
Can't they? I thought you were a cleric. Do you not have the ability to perform such spells?
Oh, I can. I just wish to while they're alive so they can have a chance to redeem themselves.
you are very hasty to have your men killed.
These men betrayed me. I will not weep for their deaths.
I believe in second chances and redemption.
We'll see who betrayed who in just a second.
Juliana, can you tell if someone's under another's influence?
I can try.
I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
Okay. There are several items among the kings that set off your magic. Mostly +1s, items that are just magically more powerful through the enchantments.
How long ago was the war?
The War of Leandros?
No, the war, like that.
Oh, that was
Oh, the
yesterday.
siege?
Okay, yeah. I can find out myself who gave the order. If you wish to give me about 10 minutes, I can see myself who they were speaking to.
That's more than enough time.
I allowed the soldier to get back up, and then I put him in line with the other 9. I put my dagger away, and I'm now drawing my bow.
Okay.
Did any of you speak directly with the one who ordered the attack?
I see them all glance at each other.
Do I see any of them look at one specifically? Like as they're glancing around, do all their heads go to one?
Because your insight is stupid, yes you do. They all glance particularly towards... There's a Vidalcan general. Towards the back.
I'm just going to point him out and be like, you, come here.
Steps forward.
Why were they all looking at you?
I am the commander.
So did you speak to the one who was directly responsible for sending the order?
I did.
Well, I would find out either way, but I wish you would tell me instead of me having to force my way in. Who sent it?
I will not tell you.
And if you don't mind, I'm going to look for myself.
10-minute break, everyone.
Then I'm going to focus on him and spend 1 minute meditating on him to receive shadowy information of recent events. I can do it for up to 24 minutes, and because my wisdom is now 24, I can do it for 7 days in the past.
Okay. So you focus on him, and go back the first day. There's not much written there.
Before we go any further, Marcellus is holding an action for if anybody makes a motion towards Jules.
I'm keeping an eye on Richard still.
You hit the second day. Actually, no. First, I gotta go back a minute. Okay.
Damn it, the suspense is killing me.
That cliffhanger.
We'll put this up next week.
Fuck you!
I'm glad I have a legitimate chance to use visions of the past. This is fucking sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty boss. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty solid.
And I'm also glad you're keeping my back safe because I have to maintain concentration as if I was holding a spell for this. So if someone breaks my concentration, it's gone until I short rest again.
The only reason I'm not is to make everyone else not tense.
Yeah. Oh no, I understand because you got to keep that air of authority and.
Oh, don't worry, I'm keeping an eye on Richard too. He was way too quick to draw that sword.
Yeah,
Yeah, to just start murdering them.
Alright, well, yeah, let's just kill my people.
Well, both of you have stepped forward and clearly know something about me, so time to get rid of you.
I've never seen anybody want to kill their men so fast.
Damn.
Yeah, the traitors must be dealt with. Let's start with that guy in the down.
These guys, whoa! These guys all stepped forward and. Till death! Pardon? I don't even know if they're being
Damn,
honest.
that shirt is sweet.
Oh, that shirt? Yeah, that's dope.
Sweet ass shirt.
I have the main enemy of the campaign on my shirt.
D&D Beyond, everyone.
Hey, it's your dad.
What is dead may never die.
Yeah.
So let's see. We've got Jon Snow, Bruce Bolton.
Did we talk with Alec?
No.
No.
Not since this. I mean, I know he's...
Yeah, no. We haven't talked to Alec all day.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I probably would have embraced him and gave him like a hug, and we would have had small talk about Merchant's
I
Haven.
mean, he's your best friend and also married the woman of your dreams, so, you know.
Yeah, that's him.
Richard looked like Trevor Belmont with blonde hair.
Also, whenever I'm thinking of the whole doing the visions of the past thing, I see her eyes doing like the whole roll back in her head, this pure white thing, because she's gone.
So, well, after 10 minutes, you snap out of your rooms.
She's gonna like slowly take her hand off them and be like, "Did you give the order?"
Yes.
Who says it's Richard?
No.
Oh, the Vidalcan.
Yeah, the Vidalcan general.
Okay.
I saw you talking to Richard over and over about how much of a problem the dragons were and the possibilities of going to Hemos and dealing with it, but I do not believe it was Richard who ever gave the order. I believe it was you.
I grew up in Panninlow. You learn the history of the dragons and who they slaughtered.
I'm well aware of the history of the dragons.
It was brought forward to my attention that if maybe somebody could stop it from happening again, millions of lives might be saved. And if that caused the death of a few soldiers and the king, so much the worse.
Well, there you go, Richard.
I put my bow. I unlock my bow. I walk past Ignatius and grab the scimitar off his hip.
It's actually like
Oh.
pulled right back.
Yeah,
Grab
I'm grabbing the scimitar off of him.
Okay.
Marcellus, this is Richard's general.
He declared war. We lost 25 people that day. 2 cities in the south and southeast coast. I put the scimitar under his chin.
But it is not our jurisdiction, Marcellus. And I want to see how Richard deals with a traitor that openly admits that he's a traitor right in front of his king.
Well, my general aims, I should say, to kill several dragons along with the rest of your people. While there is no mass execution that would please the rest of your people, I do believe you have a dragon with you.
No, Richard, why were you relieved when I blamed him?
I was merely relieved to see the end of this investigation. I admit it put me on edge.
Instead, do I believe him?
Go ahead.
I still have the scimitar under his chin.
That's not a 20, but
You got a 40.
I mean, let's see, that's
It's plus 19.
37.
So you see Richard is kind of stumbling slightly over his words, just brain going really quickly and desperately flailing around in his mind.
You don't seem confident. You look like you're trying to think of something to say that would ease everyone else's mind. Not the truth.
This is an extremely tense situation, is it not?
Darius.
Yes, but you just said you were relieved. The tension should be left. Why are you so panicky?
Well, given the fact that your king just openly declared the emphasis for possible war against my country,
And we have found the suspect. Shouldn't that be relief of a
I suppose it's more
cause?
reaction than anything.
Darius. Juliana said she talked to Richard, or he talked to Richard days before, correct?
That is what she said,
Yeah,
yes.
she said so. Darius, correct me if I'm wrong. A king like yourself possesses certain abilities. As I'm now just kind of lifting his chin up. And one of them I believe I've seen you use. Is this correct?
What are you talking about?
Oh, no, never mind. That was Selwyn. Modify memory.
No, that was Darius as
Oh,
well.
was it Darius?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay, so I have seen it.
That's exactly what I was thinking too.
So, could it be possible if somebody would have, I don't know, tampered with his memory?
Could be.
Yeah. Richard, our friend here, who you've seen cast a celestial being into existence, you've now seen her convince your men to come forward. How much more lying are you going to do?
I understand how you could fear that someone might modify someone's memory, but I am merely a fighter. It's not within my skill set.
Do I believe him?
Insight
Yeah.
check that shit.
Yeah, everybody.
Go ahead and everybody make an insight check or history check. Based on your preference.
It doesn't matter.
I'm sticking insight. Which die should I use?
Well, that's still high. No bonus to it.
Juliana, if you're going with insight, I would give you advantage on this.
Would you mind choosing a second die for me? For advantage.
Given how well you've been reading Richard up to this point.
29.
Fair enough. Alright.
I have the wrong
Because of the shield. Okay, that works. So that's at 29.
29 insight.
29 insight.
19.
What?
Insight.
30.
Good shit.
Insight or history.
Inside.
It wouldn't have mattered. It's the same roll cry.
Well, it matters based on the information you get.
Oh.
So, you two. Just sense a general nervousness, a franticness to Richard right now. And definitely a sense that there's more going on than he's saying.
Richard, is this something you want to tell us?
Yes, don't blow up my city for starters.
Don't attack my coasts.
Also, if you and your general were having such deep discussions about Hemos and the dragons,
Almost sounds the word.
he had to have had some kind of idea from you that it's what you wanted. What exactly were you two talking about?
I confess that the resurgence of dragons has caused me no small amount of concern. They are terrifying beasts in their own right, as your friend could surely get privy to.
Yes, he would.
But there was constant talk of Hemos. Why specifically Hemos and us?
Let's find out.
As the rebirth of the resurgence of the dragons.
As I'm saying this, while still.
There has to be more to it than just the dragons.
Dragons are a central point of need. It is our history, and it is the only reason we are a city still standing, is because we learned how to fight and kill dragons.
I'm going to walk over to the Vidalgan, and I'm going to cast Greater Restoration on him.
Okay.
Do you mind recalling for us what exactly happened between you and Richard again?
So what exactly are you trying to achieve with greater restoration?
I'm curing his possible modified memory.
Okay. As you do this, there's a weird blackness that you see in his mind. And it's something... It's almost like a... It's equivalent to information in his brain is equivalent to people traveling to one end of a bridge and making it to the other end, but the bridge is missing in the middle. There's something just not there. I don't know. I don't understand.
I still have the blade under his neck, the scimitar under his neck. Let me break it down for you, my friend. What did you and Richard talk about with those dragons about the dragons a few days ago?
What do you remember leading up to it?
Nothing particularly untoward. We were checking on our lines, ensuring our defenses and our weapons. Nothing out of the ordinary.
And then what?
I went to check in with Richard. I think we talked for a while.
You think or you know?
I think. There is something wrong with my mind. My memories, they are not. It's almost as if they are not anymore.
What's the next memory you have?
Leaving the palace.
And where did you go?
I went down to our lines. I began organizing our troops. I think it was very important.
And you said this was after talking to Richard. Or you can't remember.
I think so.
I look over to Ignatius.
I'm gonna hold out a firebolt towards Richard. The truth now.
I have already told you the truth.
Your soldier here says he can't remember what you had a conversation about, but now he
has
heading
admitted
down.
time and time again that he's the one that sent the warriors to
There
the shores.
is a block on his memory. He
That is the
cannot
duty of a
remember.
general. If they are issued an order to do so, they will command that order to be done.
He's confessed that he sent out the troops, and now he conveniently can't remember why he did. That doesn't strike you well as odd.
It's crazy what fear and a simple spell from a king will do.
I've already told you, I do not have the ability to cast spells.
It's convenient for you.
You don't have the ability doesn't mean there aren't items in this world that allow you to cast spells, even in their grasp. Now, King Richard, my lord.
I want to use another.
Someone's actually going to interject. He's been kind of just silent this whole time, just taking everything in.
Can I use another charge of True Seeing?
Sure.
On the gem? And I would look Richard up and down.
Do so.
Okay.
May I
Any
interject?
guidance on him?
Oh,
Yes,
Selwyn,
sir.
I was wondering when you'd get involved.
I was sort of sizing everything up. May I do something?
Go for it.
Sure.
Well, he's guidance.
I'm
just
still
in case.
holding that firebolt. Just at him.
Which point it's worth mentioning that both Alec and Everett are both holding swords out towards Richard as well.
He's going to cast a 9th level Dispel Magic on the Bodalkin.
Okay. Oh, on Vulcan? Okay. You do so. No effect seems to open.
I will do an 8th level on Richard if he allows it.
Go ahead and roll and add your spellcasting modifier, which I think is 5 for you.
You said guidance as well?
Yeah.
So add your d4.
I'm going to burn an inspiration on that. Okay, so that's like a 31.
Okay, token please.
Would you roll the inspiration?
First one was 9, the inspiration was an at 20.
And if you guys have the inspiration tokens,
Man, this is really the time to go ahead and do that, I see.
as you do, slowly, a guise begins to fall from Richard.
I'm just gonna fucking let it go at that point. Bitch!
Go ahead and make your attack roll. I would.
What is it?
You guys see the guys begin to fall from Richard, and you see black hair, an elven face, and a white uniform.
Is it fair
Queen
to
of the Night Sisters.
Is it fair to say that the Alec and Everett just start beating the shit out of her with swords at this
Oh, yeah.
point?
20.
20. Okay. That does hit.
So really true
Where's
sight.
my
I guess
D10?
she's actually shifting, huh?
What it is specifically, she actually has a ability.
That'll-
This part of the she was working on in a year was finding a way to just defeat True Sight in her guise.
I did the 8th with Darius, by the way.
Okay, good job.
Oh, it's 40 then.
Yeah, and nothing short of dispelling the guys was going to get rid of it. That's why she's specific, because that's what was the result of you guys true sighting her entire fucking.
Gotcha.
But nothing happened with the Vidalcan?
No?
Okay.
So with a 9th level summon,
29
summon
points
that.
fire damage.
29 fire damage. All right.
I see.
With this,
Level cantrips.
once I hear the firebolt go off, I instantly remove the scimitar from his
It's like
neck,
the fucking
toss it,
lion.
and I toss it back to Ignatius.
What's that fucking movie?
What?
I'm so bad at movies. The talking lion.
From Narnia?
Narnia. There,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's
With 9th level, I can summon the Felidar. That's what I was showing him.
Basically the lion from the fucking Narnia.
Say it,
As
Dungeon
is.
Master.
Oh my god.
I can summon that.
All right.
Say it, Dungeon Master.
I need everybody to go ahead and roll initiative.
You know what's crazy? The unicorn can summon has legendary actions.
Oh yeah, this is what I've been waiting
son
for.
of a bitch.
Yeah, what's up?
Garbage. Garbage initiative.
All right. We have 10 to 20.
15 to 20. 26.
26.
20 for Darius.
21 for Juliana.
God damn it.
You said 15 or 20?
We
15
got active first.
You
Fine.
got the surprise attacking.
Ignatius, what did you get?
I got an 11. I rolled a 6.
All right. Marcellus.
The bow comes out.
Coatl. Got a 9.
Okay. Yeah. I'd rather have it separate.
Yeah.
I still have my hunter's mark up on Eldrin. I shift it over to the Queen of the Night Sisters
As a bonus action, yeah.
as a bonus action. I knock my bow and whisper the words.
Okay. So just as you pull the bow back, swift death to my enemies, swift death to those who have wronged me.
And then I'm going to fire 2 shots.
Are they technically evil?
The Night Sister? Question.
That's a 31 to hit.
They do count as lawful evil.
That's a 31 to hit.
Third one absolutely hits.
That's the first one. The second arrow is a 29 to hit.
29? Yep.
Oh yeah, I've been waiting on you, ho.
I didn't expect this to go down today.
And then I've got all the. Yep. Yeah. You thought this was gonna be real sweet, bitch. I'm going first, so I get my fun damage as well. Correct? Yep. Okay. Yeah.
You would get sneak attack too, because
Yeah.
Darius was right next to it.
Yeah. I got all that in here.
So Juliana had,
Well, she was up next to the dolphin.
3, 6,
Yeah.
9, 12.
oh, that's right. Never mind.
D8s and D6s.
So
I
how
thought
do
it
we,
was the general, then not, yeah.
should we do a map or anything?
I mean, I can pull over a grid. I unfortunately don't have a map of this, but
Okay.
Give the light up the field.
Well, and there's a whole bunch of soldiers standing right here.
Yeah.
Which I assume she's gonna
21.
tell to attack us.
Probably.
I wonder if any of them are actually still good.
24.
Maybe.
28.
We're probably
Just like
Depends on their allegiance.
32.
This may have just gotten very interesting.
34. 37. 40.
oh, whoops, it's 45.
42.
What should I use for the
46.
soldiers?
My bag, I think. Somewhere.
We give her D8 now.
I have a question. Wait a
Last
second.
week, this is Juliana cast Holy Weapon on my Shadow Blade.
The irony of that is wonderful. Would it be an unholy blade at that point?
I don't know.
Is it just a blade?
There's just nothing in your hand, but it does shit tons of damage.
Literally 98.
For a melee swing.
Oh no.
That's glorious.
Man,
You crit.
tell you what, I know I can't do it. I can't find it.
Jesus.
Did I? I might have.
I think you did.
That'll work. She's supposed to be white, but
I have advantage on all my attacks
Yes, you did.
because I'm going first before the enemy.
yes, you do.
Playing because
So-
of friends, right?
Yeah. And because I have that plus, I mean, this is.
I was
Okay, so
closer
hold
to
on.
her. I don't know if I was necessarily 5 feet.
So correction. 31.
Yeah, I would have probably been at least right there.
Yeah, use whatever's in there.
That's you. Yeah.
So 30 on the second arrow.
Okay.
Might be.
Use whatever's in there for next.
That's kind of good shit.
Yeah, let me make sure. 27. Okay, 27 on the final hit. On the third.
That hits.
All right. So let me. I'll roll the rogue damage separately. I'm fucking roll all together. Get one I can get.
Yeah, we could just do that. But they're going to be over here. They'll be separated by space.
Well, I was saying we should do like every other main.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. Just leave the. So where would you want the soldiers?
Soldiers would be like on the sides.
I mean like the wall of 40.
Well, they'd be like right here. Because you guys were right up clear to the long line.
Well, it's worth mentioning the Fire's Altars guards are standing back. They're not involving one.
Oh, yeah, because they step, the 10 step forward. Right.
Yeah, I just didn't know if they were going.
These would be the 10.
No, in the shock of the fact that their king is not who their king said he was, they are just basically standing back. The local guards are getting involved.
Okay.
6.
How many of them would there be?
10.
6, 12, 18.
Actually, I gotta go
22. Plus 15.
They rolled a natural 20!
That's 24.
They are ready for the shit.
Technically, they
18,
go for themselves.
24.
We got some dwarves.
28. 28 plus 15 is 38 plus another 5 is 43. 43 plus 7 is 50. 57. It is 60. 57 plus.
No, again, those guards are not getting involved.
These are the 10 that you...
No, those are local guards.
No,
I'm talking about, no. They're the ever-shifting coast guards. Those are the 10 that are getting involved.
Okay.
None of the Fire's Altars are getting
So
involved.
the 50 that showed up and the 10 that stepped forward, none of them are being a part of this.
Yeah, they're basically just standing back going like, what the fuck? Because they just saw their king turn into a woman.
65
Specifically
points.
just a woman, not the night mother, it's just a woman.
I am so sorry.
65 points.
Fastest food job ever.
Okay, very nice.
How much damage?
65.
That's not bad.
Alright.
Excuse you.
Alright. Oops, that's the wrong one. You need to be on. People love to work with me. There we go. Alright. So the guards rolled a natural 20. So they should have actually gone first because I forgot to roll their initiative. That's okay. Seeing this all go down.
Dog pile.
Yeah, basically. So all the ones. So the 2 wizards and the 2 next to them are going to run forward at her.
What's their movement speed?
Their movement speed is 25.
So 15, 20.
25.
15,
So just close as they can get that side of it. That's where they want to be.
20, 25. That one can actually swing.
Okay. So he's going to go ahead and swing.
Oh, yeah. Okay. He's adjacent.
Oh wow, they get 3 attacks.
Fuck her up.
That hits.
And it's half movement speed through allies, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That also hits.
Merlin?
I rolled 18, 19, 11. The 11 unfortunately does not hit. So he just first guy runs up with great action. Doing where's the middle? Well. So that'd be a total of 22 damage. They don't hit that. Just local cards.
Who all did you say stayed inside? A lot, Eldrin and...
Eldrin and there's 2 of the other things.
Caleb and
25.
Eldrin, Caleb,
Everett,
and
I think.
Everett was inside. You can't outside.
Eldrin was the one that said that Night Sisters were no more than a fable, right?
No,
That was long. That was
That was Longtooth? Okay.
One more gets an attack. The other one wasn't able to get close enough.
Okay. That's a hit. That's a miss. That's also a miss. Alright, so that's an additional 13 points of damage. So it just runs up and then she kind of just dodges away, swinging as he just goes wild at her. The remaining 6 are going to pull out crossbows.
Let it rain hell. Let's see that storm of steel.
Some of them have to, well, most of them have to shoot through at least half cover.
I can move them.
I mean, they
unless,
are guards.
unless they
They're not-
move.
Yeah, they are guards without direct leadership. They're not the most clever, so they're just
Oh, okay.
firing line it.
Okay.
If they're not one, I might turn around.
Here's someone.
So first one
Here's someone.
misses.
Okay.
Okay, so the first 2
he would've
miss.
been-
Well, he also tried to dispel magic.
He went up to the Badalkin to try and dispel it. So he would have been like up here probably.
Yeah.
Just a flurry of arrows go off. 4 of them just fly past her, but 2 of them do strike home. What is it? It's a D10. Okay, 7. Come on, need to roll. Okay. So that's another 15 points of damage. Alright. That'll bring us to Juliana.
I'm a bonus action for my book again, so I shed bright light, so that way she has disadvantage on attacks against me.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use.
Meteor swarm.
Don't tempt me. I'm kidding.
Meteor,
I'm gonna use kill all evil.
I want to put Meteor Swarm just right there in that very spot that she's standing. If you could. That'd be great.
Dot kill at 9th level.
I'm gonna use guiding bolt at 5th level, but because of the book, it becomes 6th level.
All right.
So it's a plus 13 to hit. That is a 25 to hit.
25 will hit.
It's 96. And next attack against her has advantage.
All right. Anything else?
He's rolling the damage, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to roll 9d6.
96. So
Yeah, I wish. So 30 radiant.
So see Juliana flip open the book. Again, there's this bright light shines out from it. She waves her hand around to begin muttering incantation. Almost like a lightning bolt made of pure energy crackles out from her palm. Strikes the Night Sister straight in the chest. She lets out ah! She said 30?
Yeah, 30 radiant, and she is now sparkly. And the next thing that attacks her has advantage. Yep.
Marcellus.
Yeah, I saw that last night. She was awesome.
As this happens, suddenly, time stops for you. In just a moment of panic, you look around, and you see... hang on, I'm sorry, real quick. I forgot to actually look up this description, so let me double check on this to make sure.
So this is that moment, guys, that I was talking about where your player just dies. You can't really explain it. And so you go to
keel
your
over and die.
you go to your backup gunslinger that you just have prepped just in case, and he just comes jumping off the balcony and just starts letting off shots at level 18. You know.
I was the bounty hunter that I was trying, or that tried to hire Marcellus.
His name is Rango Bet.
Okay. So, a tall elven woman, back a pure white horse, approaches you.
I've seen this in Rob Zombie's Halloween.
She has a spear, trailing off of it is a long banner bearing 2 crossed blades. She reaches you, she slowly dismounts and walks towards you, placing a gentle hand in your face.
I'm just jabbing you.
You have been through much. Most people who see deities of death are haunted by them. They are haunted by war, and they are haunted by fights. You're not haunted by them. You miss it. She grabs your hand, pulls out a ring from her pocket, slowly sliding it over your middle finger. Fight. You look down at the ring. It's encased in ice, but it's not cold to the touch. It slowly forms and melts onto your finger. Add to your inventory a ring of winter. And you may tune it to yourself.
So this is that moment, guys, where you get an item and you possibly kill everybody on the battlefield.
Darius.
He's gonna look at Longtooth because I assume he was one of the ones that came out.
Longtooth's out here.
He's going to bonus action use the holy light from his sword, and he's actually going to two-hand it this time.
Okay.
And cast the holy light from it, which is essentially the same thing as her book. It gives any undead or fiend disadvantage against it.
Okay.
Or anything evil, I think. Let me look real quick.
You just can't. You can't win. You can't get a break.
There's a reason you specifically got that. Because you were used to dealing with that issue.
Was it hurting yourself to view something?
Sorta.
Yeah.
So another martyr thing?
And then he's going to look at Longtooth and say, "You wanted to see a night sister in the flesh? Well, here she is." And he's going to cast Circle of Power.
Just do Long Jaws just cackling to himself. Just. There's a reason you got this.
Oh, God.
Give Marcellus a second to look over his new item.
That's alright. We got a while before we come back to ourselves. So what was your circle of power?
Every ally within 30 feet of me gets advantage on all saving throws against spells and magical effects. And then when an affected creature succeeds on a saving throw made against a spell or magical effect that allows it to take half damage, it takes no damage instead.
Okay, good to know.
Damn.
Alright, it's gonna bring us to the Night Sister.
Pretty good. You literally just gave everyone a shield. The shield
I
master.
gave you advantage against all spells and evasion, basically.
That's beautiful.
So at the end of her turn, she reaches forward, grabs Ignatius, and
Bitch, I wish you would.
Wow.
gonna grab Ignatius. Oh, I'm sorry. Who's the gray one that was next to her?
That's
There's Darius.
Oh, sorry. Okay, it would be Darius.
Oh.
This is legendary action. Not doing her.
Wow.
Whoa.
Reaches forward, grabs you, and just in a swift moment, kisses you. So she has to try to grab you.
Try to grapple me? Okay. So it's athletics or acrobatics, right?
That's to escape a grapple. Basically, it's just a 2 hit.
Okay.
That's,
Oh my god.
yeah, that's 26 against your AC.
I will use cutting words.
Okay, then. Go ahead and roll it down.
She goes to grab you, like, wait. Get away, get away, get away.
That would be, since I'm not using the shield, my AC would be 22, and I rolled a 4. So if she would hit, it would just be glancing.
Okay.
But I don't know if
Given that it's purely a grapple, I will consider this to be a miss in this case.
Okay.
So she just comes towards you and you just, be gone, thought! And just her arms close around empty air. It's going to bring us to her turn properly. She's going to reach forward and touch you as light.
resistance.
Was that a...
Should be a
saving throw,
should be
yeah.
a save, yeah. I think.
Yeah, blight is a save. It's a to hit and a save, isn't it?
No, I think it's just a save.
Well,
Oh yeah, 'cause it's a touch, but it's a con save.
Bigly. Is blight a save?
Yes.
I don't know why they tell me what spell she has, but they don't show me spells.
Where you at?
So
Right here.
Yeah, no, wait, exactly.
No, no, yeah.
Hold on, we'll get to that.
No, wait, that was a 60-foot save. Never mind.
okay.
I forgot I had like a reach.
I mean, it's 30 foot, but yeah, it's a save.
23.
Okay.
Wait, that makes it,
Well, we're
okay.
not doing that, but okay.
So it's half damage.
No, it's none because of my circle of power.
Because fuck you.
You did just cast that. I'm glad you remember, because I didn't. So, just as you feel the black death begin to spread through you, just there's a bright flash of light, and her spell shatters in the air. She throws down this poof of smoke, and she vanishes from the spot. I need everybody to make a perception check.
Everybody?
Perception?
Because she just poofed.
I have Hunter's Mark on her, so do I have advantage?
Yes.
I would counterspell that shit.
Okay.
Also, how would that affect when I guiding bolt her? She's all sparkly. I know it's not necessarily fairy fire, but she's still sparkly.
Fifth
It's,
level.
I would say it's probably disadvantage on her.
Okay, got it.
That it was a good little spell. It was Dimension Door.
I was
Yeah. Just as she's about to vanish, she just
Yeah, it's
No.
she just looks around. Just bastard.
Nope, not done with you yet, bitch.
That'll bring us to Selwyn.
He's going to.
This is your own deck.
Cool. I'm ready.
I can't use any of the warlocks.
And then goes your koala. So that right?
I'm ready. So quad. Yeah, you're right.
My brain wanted to say Totodile, but that's Pokemon.
You're. Yep. I was gonna say you're close, but that's crocodile versus serpent. But they'd probably make the same sound, you know.
That's actually how I learned to do that. Was
I can appreciate that.
Seeing her just cast a spell, he's going to cast Feeble Mind on her.
Oh shit! What was save a minute?
22 intelligence.
That
The save is get fucking interesting.
That's actually interesting. Intelligence. She has good intelligence.
We'll see. But for how much longer?
After that.
And there it goes. You mean she had good intelligence?
Yeah, actually.
You mean she had good intelligence?
Pass me one of those worms, please. Or pass me a bag of worms.
Yeah, there you go.
I could actually. Please pass wall on the ground.
Were you here when we started doing that?
What?
Paying for that once?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So yeah, that takes, because she
You
doesn't
don't remember because you paid me for lunch.
I did.
Because I got enough to pay for lunch on Monday.
Alright,
So, yeah.
she takes 46 psychic damage as well.
And it's retarded, yeah. For a month.
Hey, you can't say that word. It's a bad word. You can't say that.
No, that's the only appropriate word. She has intelligence of 1.
So she takes 10 psychic damage.
Like, it's not until she's physically retarded. Like, she's not trying to be smart like that.
Yeah, intelligence and charisma both become 1. Can't cast spells, activate magic items, understand language, or communicate in any intelligible way.
Yeah, she can't do anything. So, okay, yeah. How do you guys want to do this?
She can still fight you.
Yeah,
she can
but
still fight, but
she can
can't cast
swing at
spells.
you, but considering she doesn't, she has a single dagger versus all of you, I'm gonna say that's not gonna do shit. Because all her stuff relies on magic abilities, which she can no longer do.
Well, combat's not done. This is still the first
I
round.
mean, if you guys want to lay this out, we can.
This is still the first round.
Much. I would really like to lay this out.
All right.
Well, Darius would say that he wants information out of her before she's dead.
She can't speak.
She literally can't understand language. She's retarded.
I have something for that.
Okay. I was just saying, but she's retarded.
It can be ended with greater restoration.
All right. I think.
Lovely.
And Feeble Mind's not like a save or return or
No, just that one save, and then she's
Okay,
retarded for
just,
30 days.
That's beautiful and horrible and beautiful.
Well, at the end of the 30 days, she could try to make another saving throw.
And then wait another 30 days if she fails.
Correct.
Alright.
Someone that's not wise, you could just permanently retard them for life.
Well, it's intelligence, but yeah.
Or, yeah. Intelligence.
If they're stupid.
That's the thing,
to
she's
begin with.
intelligence too, but I rolled a 1. She has like a plus 17 to intelligence saves.
Damn.
So I looked
It's
down
not
on
quite
that
that.
shit.
Very,
It's
very
really not.
little chance of happening, but
Yeah, it's not quite that. Oh no, I'm sorry. Her intelligence doesn't get that much. It's plus 6 for intelligence saves.
Alright, I'll just take that.
Her con is plus 16.
Okay, Shadow Blade, replay, stab.
Alright, go ahead.
Yep.
Wow, man.
No, that actually really sucks.
She was going to do a whole bunch of fun stuff. And I just all away.
I assume her AC is not 14.
No.
Okay, cool, that one missed. That one.
Actually,
She would have had advantage because of Guiding Bolt.
yeah, you would.
yeah, 'cause she was still sparkling.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
wait,
that's
she
a
loses
natural
that.
18.
Do what?
Then that's
What?
a natural 18 for that hit.
Sorry, hang on. Just as boosted, it doesn't say it much. Which roll?
And that was the second roll was an 18.
Total?
No, it was like a 29.
Okay, yeah. Her AC went down.
It was oh, okay.
Because one of her natural abilities is distracting beauty. But she doesn't have any fucking magical abilities on her anymore. She doesn't have it.
And you're stupid.
I mean,
Wow,
yeah.
you being stupid made you uglier.
I
Yeah.
Kinda.
yeah. Well, it's distracting beauty, and it's not really.
Well, I mean, I know, Mike, you'll know about this. The way I always consider distracting beauty to work is kind of like the Vila from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
They basically have like this beautiful aura around them that make people go around and fall in love with them.
Yeah.
Kind of vampire-esque.
Gotcha.
It was the Kiara effect.
Does she have any resistance?
Please help me remember the
Not to
quality
non-magical stuff.
speak.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, no,
It's
acid
like
attack.
220 feet.
Oh, bitch.
Okay.
So if we're doing a lineup like that again, I don't need to cast True Sight. I can just be like, which one of these is hiding? And the Quell will be like, that one.
16 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
All languages.
I've never seen that word
20 points
before
of
on
fire
languages. The telepathy for 120 feet, languages, all.
A few creatures do have it.
I've never seen languages, all.
It is primarily the Celestials that have it.
That's wild. This thing just keeps getting cooler and cooler every time I summon it.
You just need to pet one.
If I can.
Man, I cannot believe you actually got a feat lined off.
Yeah.
On the smartest
On a
time we've
boss.
fought.
I mean, you guys have fought slightly more intelligent beings, but
I'm surprised she didn't have a legendary resistance.
she did initially. I nerfed her a little.
I appreciate that.
Second one.
I left her legendary actions like after resistances. So.
Okay.
That's what she tried to do when she was going to kiss Darius.
19.
19?
19.
And Darius was the
That hits now.
Ew. Fuck it.
Daddy!
Combat start. Nope, no, ew, no, ew.
Nope. Still seeing Richard. Get away from me.
You were prettier as Richard. It's like,
Now.
be gone, fucked.
Really want something.
Oh, this is 26 points of psychic damage.
Alright.
And 23 points of fire.
Very nice. So, and it's just, you can see burn marks, sleeches of blood. She's definitely injured. Actually, she's bloody at this point. All right. That would bring us to your quaddle.
It's going to, with
Walk
its
up.
90 speed flight,
Just go spit on it.
is literally going to just go up, fly over behind her, and just try to grapple
Alright,
so that she can't move.
go ahead and make an attack roll.
It's going to use constrict.
That actually never does good for you.
Nat 20.
Good thing I
Called
said that.
out. Yep, I'm glad you said that.
Were you just like meditating in a temple with your dice the entire time you were? Because you left to roll in nat ones all over the place and you go back to just...
Hey, Eli, real quick.
They were playing D&D while I studied the dice.
It was all in the wrist.
I was in a Tibetan monastery studying the dice rolls for 23 years.
Jesus
It was actually the Temple of the Crane, or the Crane Mother.
Just went to the hyperbolic time chamber.
So Kawada just... And then like just snake like coils around her and holds her arms to her sides.
So
She's considered grappled.
2d6 plus 3 bludgeoning. And grappled. With a DC of 15 to escape.
Wow, that'd be really great if
Wow,
you use any of your
almost
magic
max
shit.
damage.
And yeah, I almost max damaged.
Unbelievable. Oh, don't forget the way crits work.
And then another 11.
Oh yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
23?
Well, crits, the way it works is it's
23,
max
yeah.
damage.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
That's 23 with a plus 3, so 26.
26, very
because I
nice.
rolled 11 for the damage, but it's 12 at the maximum, so 23,
Okay.
and then plus the modifier.
Yep. Alright. The guard turns. Seeing her just go stupid, they're just gonna kind of lower the crossbows. Good job! Good job! We did good. We were good.
Right now she is retarded and restrained.
Yeah.
What's she gonna do? Stab her way out?
No.
Quaddle's immune to physical damage.
Fuck it is. I forgot about that.
If that's not a non-magic dagger, it physically cannot hurt the Quaddle.
It's not. It's an assassin dagger. That's the only purpose she has. That's the only reason she has it. Well, or she's just magical. Alright. Well, the guards head back to the tavern. They're gonna start drinking. They feel very happy with themselves.
They shouldn't.
They feel like they were very helpful.
They were.
Solis.
Marcellus. I see that it's grappled. I just say out loud, thanks, Jules, and I'm going to take some shots with my arrow straight to the head.
Okay.
Oh, no, non-lethal, so to the shoulder.
Non-lethal to the
It
head.
can be to the head, just non-lethal.
Aim for the ears, like straight to the head.
26 on the first one.
26 hits.
25.
25 hits.
Keep in mind those were with advantage because sworn enemy and she's grappled. Or restrained, I should say.
Yeah.
Don't forget your elven accuracy.
All
So
these
the
are
first arrow is now a natural 20.
Hey, elven accuracy.
Oh god, that gets sneak attack.
Yeah. So go ahead and just damage.
Okay.
And sworn enemy and
And sworn enemy and assassin. Or no, it doesn't get assassin.
Hunter's marker, right?
Yeah,
Let's get Hunter's Mark. Man,
All of the damage.
she was gonna poof into the darkness and start fucking you guys up.
And then she got clapped.
She did. Get that ass banged.
Alright. Time to go full set. Stop that. What?
Yeah, she was basically just like,
Actually,
alright,
I
stop.
gotta roll the first arrow.
Get some help.
Well, like, I'll just try to think about this situation, Darius. Like, stop that.
So the first arrow was the nat 20.
I guess I'll just run. Quaddle's like, no, you also stop that.
You can't stop all the things.
Oh, wow. So max damage on 3 dice for the first arrow.
Wow. And
So
remember the way we do
12,
crits.
18.
He nat
All the
20.
dice are maxed,
He
aren't
nat
they?
20.
Oh,
They're
did
max.
you max damage?
They're max, and then you add whatever you roll to it as well.
Okay, so 1.
Yeah, basically you do max damage and then add whatever you roll down.
Okay,
713 and a half.
so that's 20.
Rogues, man.
No.
I mean, I'm sure you remember Lulu when they get off that fucking sneak attack.
Yep. Good thing he said non-lethal.
7,
Miss
31,
Take off an
Keisha.
arm.
Oh fuck, she fucking did.
34.
Blew off half her
Plus-
fucking body.
Just like Motto, she through the guy fight.
Juliana uses Spare the Dying. Just sitting there harmless. Just... Don't worry, she's alive.
Plus 16.
Still people.
58.
Literally, I have the body. Oh, that almost fucking killed me.
I was even eating. I could have sworn I hit the none.
80 points of damage.
How do you want to do this?
Wait, what'd you say?
80.
She had 76 hit points.
One shot.
With the one shot.
She had 76 hit points left.
Yeah.
How you want to do it?
I want the arrow to just come straight through her chest and out her back. And since the Kawato doesn't take damage, it just goes through and the Kawato just hanging there. And you can see the blood.
So you're putting it like between.
Oh yeah, so between just right through the ribs. Yeah, between the coils through the ribs. Yeah.
So you just pull it back, and as he does, you guys see the shining figure, Juliana, which you recognize as Ayun. Or Iona, sorry. Not Ayun. Slightly different character. Iona, goddess of war, behind him. As he... The bolt flies through the air, just... She falls to the ground unconscious.
She doesn't fall anywhere.
Oh, she just stands there.
In the Kawato's grasp.
She goes limp, and the Kawato's just holding her up.
The koala will just be sitting there just holding her up. She's just limp.
Koala's like, look.
Oh, look at her. She's all tuckered out.
Keep in mind you can speak as the koala because the koala is sentient and it knows all languages and it's actually smarter than half our group.
You say that like it's unconscious.
It has an intelligence of 18.
Oh, that's pretty
Like,
fucking
it's really fucking smart. That's 16 is its lowest stat at strength.
So, it just slowly starts dragging the Night Sister over the areas. You wanted this. And then just slowly unravels.
See, because that's actually something that I forgot to mention earlier about this summon is I don't really control it.
Okay.
It's a good and lawful creature that is friendly to my companions. I think you technically control it.
Okay, we will handle it first.
I just thought about that. Sorry.
That's fine, I know.
I'm gonna cast Zone Truth again. And since she's unconscious, she automatically fails.
I think so.
Yep.
Second level slot.
I can make her if you wish.
Or no, I used my free one for the one. What'd you say?
I can wake her if you wish.
You can wake her, but I believe she'd still be stupid.
Fair.
Either you or I can restore her. But we should take measures to ensure that she doesn't cast anything
Oh, of course.
while we question her.
At which point, Everett walks up. God, he really does not tell me enough about the fucking shit you guys get into.
As I told one of the others, you don't know the half of it.
Apparently not. Alright.
But as you can see, we were telling the truth about the Night Sisters.
Indeed. She snaps her fingers, two of her guard run up. They begin shackling her, and actually you recognize these as bracers. They are designed for magicians. Specifically, while they are enclosed around the being, they are unable to cast magic spells. Or use magical abilities.
Quaddle, I appreciate your assistance. I believe we have from here. You may return.
He kind of bows low to you, and then winks at you, Marcellus, as it kind of twists in upon itself.
Don't think I've ever had a celestial creature wink at me. Still got it. Still got it. As I start walking back into the bar, kind of flexing my hand that the thing is on.
Feels oddly powerful. And while you do feel kind of a presence coming from the ring, you've been dealing with one of the bitches from the 8 Hells. This is nothing.
So, would any of you like to question her first? I'll have to cast some restoration on her first, so she's not just a babbling idiot, but...
At this point, Saddam leans up clapping.
Never let it be said that you don't have style.
Thank you very much. I owe it to my friends as well.
Oh, check that off the bucket list.
Did Alec bring any of the guards from Merchant's Haven with him?
He did not.
Yeah, okay.
We thought we were going to have to go to the bottom of a lake, but she came right to us.
Stupid bitch.
I will cast Greater Restoration on her.
A long moment.
Punch her in her shit. Punch
Her
her in her
eyes slowly
shit.
open. She just kind of begins to struggle against the chains, but to no avail.
It was a good plan,
Could have worked a little better.
obviously.
Think.
Well, I'll look back at all the leaders. Do any of you have anything for her? Especially you, Jadis.
At which point, Jadis walks up, reaches down, pulls his gun out from his belt. A bullet.
Questions before the bullet.
I can wait.
What are your questions? She is compelled to answer truthfully.
What's there? Did you kill my father? She kind of hisses. Yes. We were hired a long time ago by that one's father to stop his efforts to keep him safe. And nearly succeeded for a time. Although you proved far more tenacious than we were expecting.
So why us, and not any other?
Call it a matter of professional integrity. When you put someone under guard, you ended up still killing them. That didn't sit well. Didn't help that you were walking around accumulating more power. Eventually became a king. Anyone who manages to kill a king props up their organization in seedy underworld. You would have had more business than we knew what to do with.
Well,
Besides, you left a bit of a rift in illegal trade. Would have been a nice spot to fill.
what is she talking about exactly?
When you killed your mother.
Okay.
There's a semblance of power. When that power goes missing, things don't just get better. It leaves a vacuum.
What affiliation did you have with my mother exactly?
Oh, mostly mutual trade and benefits of that nature. She would supply us with weapons and information. Maybe keep clients of hers safe or help them move cargo as needed. Personate a guard here, a guard there. We can get anything through customs.
How did you get through my vetting system?
The guards are good, but when they see someone they consider to be a familiar face, they don't ask that any questions.
Got it. I'll take the proper measures for that then. Maybe a change of guard every hour, maybe not. Who knows?
Or maybe some sort of mirror for them to stand. Almost like a gate. Like if they pass through a mirror or a true sight.
Could have glow and build that, I imagine.
Should be a great chance of seeing after all.
It's neither here nor there. I almost don't know what to do with you.
Which point Solis to you? I have an idea.
Let's hear it.
Any of you have ever played Shuttlecock?
Can't say we have.
It's a game not dissimilar from bowling. Only difference is that it's actually played on a thin sheet of ice, and pucks somewhat similar to hockey pucks are literally pushed down to knock over pins. She's got a head about the size of a pin. I think that could be the front one. And we'd everyone have some fun. Then you can kill her.
Okay.
As much as I don't condone torture and killing, I'm not gonna stop you.
So Slade immediately walks over to the ground, casts a spell, and it turns to very soft mud for a second. At which point she, with just a surprising display of strength, you wouldn't assume she had this much muscle for a halfling, literally just picks up the Night Sister until the head is the only thing poking above ground, and places a triangle of pins behind it, and then begins casting a kind of freezing sheet of ice. Goes back about 20 feet or so. And then grabs a stick. Alright, people come up and play shuttle puck. Anyone that breaks the nose gets 10 points.
Me right after.
Alright, both of you guys one after the other. Go ahead and make dexterity checks.
I'm gonna head back inside.
God, dexterity.
I'm gonna head back inside. You all enjoy your festivities, I guess.
Shit.
16.
At which point, Juliana, there is a small shrine in the city to light if you wish to pray there.
Actually, I would. That's
rolled a
yep,
16.
I'd rather do that.
What'd you get, Ignatius?
12.
Your puck slides through just past your ear, flicks it a little bit, backs up for the pins. Oh, that's a shame. Looks like it must have gone off course. Why don't you go again?
Before I go, I
That's
will inform
better.
Darius. I'm gonna head to the small temple of Lion in the city
18.
for a while. Are you going to be okay without me?
Yes, I think we're just having a bit of fun. You might want to give him a bit of guidance, though.
I heard that.
Puck is sliding up, just. Ow.
It might not hurt. Alright, I'll give you one shot of guidance before I leave.
How many teeth do you have? It doesn't matter.
With a D4. So from like what, 3 to 5?
12 again.
Just slides straight past her. Same number?
Oh!
Solis? You want to crack at this?
I'm in the bar.
Oh.
I'm in the bar.
Yeah, I remember you just strutted straight inside after all that.
So you're currently drinking with the guards.
Well, I'll just walk back inside like, good thing I'm off.
The guards are still inside. Did you see those? We were good. We were really good. They would have been fucked without us.
Yeah, no doubt. Let me buy you guys all around because you guys were so good. Of course.
They immediately take Willis.
Of course.
The signature Marcellus. Yeah.
I don't think we asked the real question, though. Where's the real Richard?
We're not done with shuttle parks.
We're not done with shuttle.
Hey, there's people with healing spells around. She can survive it.
You could.
She can. I mean, that's. She doesn't have to.
At which point, Shalam immediately gets in line for shuttle puck.
Oh, please. By all means.
Along with several children, just people lining up to play this game.
People out on the streets are just like, I don't know what this is.
This is a party town. They lined up a street game. People are going to start playing.
Some kid just runs up and
As
kicks.
he throws the ball, where's the real Richard?
Fuck.
That'd make a dexterity check.
Oh, I'm not throwing. I'm waiting for.
Oh, you're waiting, okay.
I'm waiting for Shalom to throw it.
Some kid just runs up and kicks her in the face. Fuck you!
Goes skittering off the side. He immediately slaps another goal down on the table. Which point, she looks up. The bottom of your leg.
Oh, that's distressing.
You can still be alive.
Which point fall.
Thanks.
Well. More questions, Bob?
Where's Marcellus?
It's
At this point, ever looks up to you.
just tuck it out.
So, I'm afraid my brother's notes are sometimes not exactly descriptive. You are the one who gets seasick, yes?
Well, I used to. Not as much anymore. It still upsets my stomach a bit, but
He says he likes you. You are very funny.
I really am.
Thank you for taking care of him. I know he can be a bit. He was always the special one.
He's a good man.
It's a bit weird.
Bit of dickish sense of humor, but he's a good man.
Not as that easy to have. You know.
I have a dickish sense of humor too, so I can't really complain.
Well, I mean, you know how it is. As such an athlete, he has to be a pirate because everybody has to be different. Let's say, at least you get to say it.
Right. Your name is Everett, right?
Yes.
Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Yes, exactly. Darius. Also, my congratulations on turning a bullet dust into a viable.
It was no small task, I may say, but it's not just my accomplishment.
Of course.
It's my family's, it is all the druids and people of the nation that have brought it up, not just myself.
I have spoken in some capacity to David the Bear, who speaks of this beast beneath the world.
You talk of Kia.
Yes.
Did she mention the name?
She did not, but Eldrin is a bit of it. As such, for as long as you need the healer's tools you have.
We plan to return them, if that's any consolation.
I think even if they don't make it back for a use such as this, that are worse ways they can go.
Well, for what it's worth, we planned on returning them.
Appreciated, even if it is a bit of an afterthought.
Well, thank you very much.
Also, you can tell your stepdaughter that the next time my brother requests a help with our pants, she can leave him what he is.
I will let her know.
That's a good point. He did call an 8-year-old when he was missing his pants in prison.
You know, sometimes you have crazy Friday nights, man. What are you gonna do? Marcellus, is there anything in particular you're doing at this point?
I asked the bartender, is there a library here?
Yes, there's not perhaps necessarily have a library as it might be, but for your terms of basic history and knowledge, it does the job.
Okay. What about a temple?
There's a couple temples to Thurston and Lane, a few shrines here and there.
Can you point me in that general direction?
And he gives you a series of instructions.
I'm gonna head there.
You're going to the library or the shrines?
Shrines.
Okay. As you walk by, you can see a sample of the town that's almost lit entirely by candles. It's far more peaceful here, as opposed to the ruckus noise and joyful of the expression of the rest of the town. It's far more somber, far more relaxed. You can tell this is a place where people come to pray or to deal with death, as it might be.
Okay. I am going to find an empty space and try and kneel and try to clear my mind.
Okay.
And try to reach out to whatever reached out to me.
Go ahead and make either a religion check or a wisdom check, whichever you prefer.
Oh yeah, I'll take wisdom. Yeah, wisdom's good.
Marcellus getting religious.
The god of war.
16.
Boy.
16.
Yeah.
Sit down and you just try to focus, try to clear your mind. It's a bit of a new exercise for you, especially given it's only recently that you've even had your mind to yourself after what feels like so long. After about 5-10 minutes, you learn to focus on your breathing and control the flow of air. And as you do, slowly you lose trace of focused thought. As you open your eyes, that same elven woman is sitting before you, cross-legged.
I don't think we've actually had the opportunity to be formally introduced.
I suppose not.
I've watched you from afar for a while, though. My name is Iona.
This is not my
Sugar Mama Iona.
You go from Father, I have sinned, to Daddy, I've been naughty.
We're kind of the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pleased to
much.
meet you, Iona. My name is Solis Telcraft.
I know. I've been watching you for some time.
And how long is some time?
Oh, say since you went on Avenged Greatest warpath to kill your father.
You saw that.
I have.
Not my best times.
Not your worst either.
This is true. So, what does this do?
It gives you what you've wanted. Something to fight against. And something to fight with. You are a fighter in the purest sense I've ever seen. So that is what I give you. People think of war as one nation or army rising up to meet another. But in its purest sense, a war is a fight, consisting of many battles. It's not always clean or pleasant, but some are far more at home in war than they are in times of peace. You are one such being. All the time you had a purpose, you had something to fight against. You were full of action. You had a year of peace, and you do not know what to do with yourself.
Was it that obvious?
When you know what to look for.
So what does this mean now?
What would you like it to mean?
I reach out for a handshake.
She nods softly, offers her hand to you.
I suppose a partnership.
For as long as you will have me. As you close your eyes, she dissipates.
I kind of just look around at everybody. Check my pants to see if I wet myself or anything.
Oh, wow, my eyes aren't bleeding.
Slight moisture.
That's just sweat from earlier. I start touching around my eye while I try to see if there's anything there. No. Okay.
It's the usual soccer.
All right. I stand back up, bow to anybody who sees me, and I calmly just walk out. Wait. I actually say that out loud as Marcellus. I put my hand out to see if anything, I call for it and it comes, or a weapon I call for it and see if it comes.
No weapon appears in your hand.
So no blood. Okay, we're good. It's fine. It's fine. We'll get there. We're fine. And I just walk on.
Right?
Outside, Darius is gonna say, well, above table, it was Caleb, Eldrin, and who else that stayed outside?
It was Cable. It was Edward who stayed inside for a while.
Oh, but she came out.
Yes.
As I'm still talking to her. Would you mind going in and extracting Eldrin and Caleb? I imagine they'd like to see Richard over here.
Of course. She walks inside and fucking ow! She comes outside holding each of them by the ear. This is the result of thinking about what another chance or not today.
This is the Night Mother. She has a few less teeth than she had beforehand, but pretty sure she can still speak if you have any questions. This is the Richard Imposter that tried to pit both of our nations against each other. She says the real Richard is beneath the lake in my nation, so I imagine we'll retrieve him when we get back, but do you have anything now before we offer?
Caleb kneels down. You killed a friend of mine. Sucks to suck.
Eldrin?
I believe you have handled things rather well. I mean, I admit all this was slightly secondary on my list of concerns. Nevertheless, I am pleased to see you come to a resolution.
Just as long as there's no bad blood.
No, not currently, no.
Would a handshake suffice?
If it must.
Alright.
I can imagine you just like this warforged king with like this gruff hand, and he's just like,
Would you like a handshake as well?
Why not?
You were wronged as well, so.
Everyone's cool with the dragons now. More or less.
As long as there's not a repeat of the incidents that caused our last war, absolutely.
There won't be. Okay.
Alright, Marcellus,
As
would
I'm
you like to
walking
do
back
the
in.
honors? As you're walking out of the tavern.
Alright, as I'm walking back into from the shrines and everything.
Oh,
Hey guys, what's going on over here?
Wait, not you.
we're ready to offer if you want to do the honors.
Already? Are her teeth gone? Is she okay? And before I can finish my sentence, I just knock an arrow and shoot her in the head.
Go ahead and make an arcana check.
God, she's just
Make a what?
Arcana check.
Arcana check.
my hand slipped.
Hands slipped.
As you reach back, your hand, instead of grasping the arrow you're meant to, instinctually flies forward. A golden ball of energy appears in his hand, and then rockets off in what has become familiar to you guys as Marcella's performing Eldritch Blast. The blast hits the Night Sister square in the face. She collapses, and her face is the floor dead.
Say it, Warlock.
That felt good.
No!
I like the aesthetic of it being a golden beam.
And I think that's where we'll go ahead and call it for the week.
Cool.
Well done, guys. Seriously, that was an interesting session. I did not know that was going to go that well for you guys.
Feeble mind for the win.
For reals.
Yeah, Feeble Mind, Counterspell. You guys played a lot of correct things down.
Where are you going? You're not going anywhere. Once you cast it, you're not casting it.
Thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you next Sunday.